A very good afternoon and welcome to Pembroke Cricket Club, wherever it is you're joining us from. We have the third game in the three-match T20 International Series coming up for you between Ireland and Zimbabwe. Ireland 2-0 up in the series, courtesy of a win yesterday. Just 21 hours later, they're facing each other in their third T20 International match. But before we get into that match, let's take a look back on the highlights from yesterday. Good afternoon, and you're very welcome to Pembroke Cricket Club for the second match of three in this T20 series between Ireland and Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe need to come back with a win to keep the series alive, but they face a dangerous Ireland team led by in-form Gabby Lewis on home soil this afternoon. Yeah, that's fodder for Gabby Lewis, far too short. Good reward, good shout, and it's out. Looks to play a straight one leg side. But a beautiful shot. That's the best of the day so far. Oh, there's an aerial one. Watch out in the crowd. It's a Cricket Ireland president, Donna Armstrong, back in the action.
Spin of both ends reverse. Stuck short of the boundary, but they might turn for three here. And Lewis gets to 50. It's her 15th. Right square on the leg side. That's exactly where it's going. Well, that's 50 for Orla Prendergast. Last ball down the track she comes, and it's going to be a run out with the score on 176. So that wraps up Ireland's innings. Clip in place for Prendergast. Wheel for caught behind and out, and Modesta perishes.
It's a two-leg side and down on one knee, helped on its way in Clovu. And she's going to beat that clubbed leg side, too short from Prendergast. No fielder out there. Full and help leg side, easy catch. 4 away from her half century.
Here she comes. The ball is in the air. There's a fielder underneath it. Taking it very well. Might be a run out here. Yes, it is. A comprehensive victory there in the end.
Ireland take the series with a game in hand, winning this one by 65 runs. It's a quick turnaround with the final game in the series taking place tomorrow at 4 p.m. We'll be on at 3:45, so make sure you join us then for more live action. So a clinical display from Gabby Lewis, and her batting was particularly impressive on that occasion. I'm joined by Ireland's former Ireland bowler, Celeste Rack. Celeste, just quickly looking back on yesterday and looking forward to today as well. It's, as I said, only 21 hours, and actually just under 21 hours to turn around for Zimbabwe. Is there anything that you feel they can do in that shorter period of time to turn around their fortunes?
Sometimes a short turnaround isn't the worst thing because you don't spend time mulling over what went wrong and what happened, but fixing their batting, their approach in the chase, and being a bit more consistent with their plans and their line and length if Ireland get off to a flyover start again will definitely help them.
Okay, well, we'll come back to more analysis of the game coming up, but you've been a busy girl. Celeste, you're out in the middle for the toss a little bit earlier on. Let's see what happened.
Hello and welcome to the third match of our T20 series here. I'm here with Ireland captain Gabby Lewis, Zimbabwe captain Chipo Migeri Tirapano, and match referee Phil Thompson.
Heads the call. Tails it is.
Stay. Gabby, what have you decided to do today and why?
We're going to have a bat first. I think the pitch definitely improved from game 2 to game 1, so I think hopefully it'll get better. And yeah, put on a good total like last game.
Big victory yesterday here. What are you looking to work on today?
I think we've got a few changes in the team, so I think it's just about keeping as consistent as we can and really sticking to being as competitive as we can with those changes. But we 100% back the girls coming in, and it's really exciting.
Excellent. And you mentioned girls coming in. What are your changes today?
So we've got Sophie McMahon, Ava Canning and Christina coming in, and Arlene, Jane and Lara McBride sitting out today.
Brilliant. Well, best of luck, Gabby.
Thank you.
We'll see you out there. Now, Chipo, Ireland have elected to bat. What would you have done today if you'd won the toss?
We were looking to bowl first, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And tough day for Zimbabwe yesterday. What are you looking to work on today?
Yeah, I think we just need to work on the mistakes that we made yesterday, especially the drop catches, the misstumping, and also on our batting we need to improve on building partnership and scoring as many runs as we can, especially in the power play.
Sure.
Yeah.
And any changes for you today with your team?
Yes, today we have 3 changes. There is Michelle coming in, Lindo is out, Runyararo is in. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, good luck today.
And also, Nombelo is in.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Well, thank you very much. All the best today. Good luck.
Thank you.
And the news from the toss is that Ireland have won the toss and will be batting first today.
So home fans will be delighted to see that Ireland will be taking to the field with bat in hand first up, courtesy of Gabby Lewis winning the toss once more. Celeste, you were out there in the middle. You heard about the 3 changes for both teams. We'll go to Ireland first. First of all, were you surprised to see 3 changes at this point?
I think after winning the series already, it's a great time for new coach Lloyd Tennant to see these players. And the 3 players, they would slot in well to this lineup. And I'm looking forward to seeing where they appear in the batting order.
Yeah, batting order, Christina Coulter-Riley coming in to the setup. We think she's going to be top order. Do you see even the players within the team that retain their spot? Do you think maybe they might move down and give an opportunity to players we haven't seen that much of yet?
Definitely. I think the new coach would love to see Louise Little as well with the bat, and seeing Christina Coulter-Riley added to the lineup means that there's likely a big change in the top order as well.
Ava Canning coming in, probably a direct replacement for Jane Maguire. But a very different type of bowler. So do you think it's a case of trying to figure out who's going to be in your best 11 come the end of August?
Definitely. The challenge for Ava Canning being that Jane Maguire brings the ball away, whereas Ola Prendergast brings it in as well. So that's a bit of a challenge for her to break into the order. But great to see her in there today.
And finally, there's 3 changes for Zimbabwe. Nomvelo Sibanda, the left armour, coming into the lineup. Were you surprised to see her not earlier in the team, and a bit of a change to the lineup? It's quite one-paced, isn't it?
Definitely. I think they do have a lot of similar bowlers, but as a left armour, and she's got a bit of experience as well. She's played in a lot of series for Zimbabwe with that opening bowling spot, so looking forward to seeing her out there today.
Well, we'll have lots more analysis coming up for you when we join you in the commentary box, but as you can hear, the anthems have already started. We'll join them now.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, please remain for Ireland's call.
So the third T20 international between these two about to get underway. There are spots of rain around, but I think it looks like we're going to get underway regardless. 3 changes to each team. We touched on it there in the pre-show. Celeste Rack, who's alongside me, but an exciting opportunity for the players from both teams who haven't got to take to the field yet, and a good option in a bilateral series, especially from the coaches and the selection panels, to decide to change the teams up.
Yeah, most certainly, and we see an opportunity granted today to Christina Coulter-Riley as well as to Ava Canning with the new ball, presumably, and also to Sophie McMahon, the all-rounder from Leinster Cricket Club.
And do you think, because Sophie McMahon is an all-rounder, and so is Louise Little, but do they play those positions in this team? Like, we haven't seen Louise Little bowling. We see her on screen now with her pads on, so I think we will see her opening up. Rebecca Stokel also has the helmet on, so she's likely to get the opportunity with Amy Hunter. So maybe it's Hunter, who hasn't had the best series so far, along with Stokel, who hasn't had much opportunity, and then 3 and 4 in one way or the other of Louise Little and Christina Coulter-Riley.
And that's it, is even though Rebecca Stokel and Louise Little have both played in the 2 previous games, as you said, they haven't had the opportunity that they would have liked. And it's also good to see Amy Hunter getting another chance out there, who may not have scored as many runs as she would have liked. So
going out for Ireland are Arlene Kelly, Jane Maguire and Lara McBride, who impressed in the first 2 games. So they'll have to find bowling from elsewhere. Yes, they have the bowling of Ava Canning, but that kind of indicates, doesn't it, that Sophie McMahon in the team maybe more as a bowler.
Potentially, yes. And Louise Little is a bowling option as well, but she may get more of a chance with the bat today.
So for Zimbabwe, Linda Kula Mabera misses out. Is that a little bit of a surprise to you? She was pretty impressive with the ball, in particular, the right arm off spinner.
She certainly was, in tough conditions, bowling to 2 batters who are in form. So she has impressed in both games. Yeah,
and another player missing out, Lorraine Schuma, and she seems to be quite an important all-rounder for them, albeit she hasn't performed with the bat and only got 1 over in each game with the ball, so they're opting to leave her out. We haven't seen Vimbai Mutangwindu. We're not going to see her in this T20 series. And Kudzai Chigora is the other bowler who's been left out. 0 for 35 yesterday. She was really good in the first game, though, 2 for 18 from 3.5 overs. So she misses out, the new ball bowler. Coming in, Nomvelo Sibanda. She's getting an opportunity, and Michelle Mavunga. Sibanda's the left arm seamer, and Mavunga a right hand bat, just 20 years old. Only 7 matches for her, but Nomvela Sibanda 52 matches. So she's the second most experienced player behind Modesta Mupachikwa. And she's getting an opportunity. Change of angle, maybe a change of fortunes. She's going to get the new ball, the left armour. And it's Amy Hunter who's going to face the first ball. She's had a rough couple of games, especially considering how many runs have been scored by Ireland in the last few games. 9 on the first day and just 1 yesterday. She was trapped LBW on that occasion. So just searching for a little bit of form, and she is so important to this Ireland lineup, isn't she?
She really is. She's scored a lot of runs for them since her debut in 2021, and she continues to be a really important part of the top order.
Yeah, so they'll be hoping that she hits her straps ahead of the one-day international series. That starts on Saturday, just a 2-match series, and you can usually tell which is the more important format to the Ireland women's team by how many of each format they play. T20 is the most important here. Well, we were going to get going, but they have qualifiers coming up. Both teams have qualifiers coming up that we'll see whether they go to the global qualifier. That's in January, but Ireland's qualifier, to get through to that, they've got to be one of the top 2 out of 4. And that's at the end of August. So they'll be trying to figure out who their best team is. So Sabanda tries again. And a short wide one missed out on by Amy Hunter.
Hunter started off quite watchful in the first game when she didn't know the opposition too well. So it'd be interesting to see how she plays Sabanda here.
Yeah, good point. And she does have a century in T20s against Zimbabwe and a century in ODI. So they're a team she feels confident against, but she's not really in form at the moment. Once again, can't find the gap. A packed offside field. But Rebecca Stokel's down the other end. She gets an opportunity at the top of the order in place of Gabby Lewis. Were you surprised when you heard that, Celeste, or do you think that was to be expected?
I think it's a great option for Ireland to try out a few different players at the top order, just to know that Rebecca Stokel can do the job if needed later on in the season. She has opened in domestic cricket this season. And she is very strong down the ground, tall player. She plays well straight, and it's just great to have another option for Ireland at the top.
Yeah, and I suppose as well, you're one injury away from needing someone else at the top of the order. Gabby Lewis is kind of nailed on for that spot, but if something were if she was to need a rest, say during that double round robin qualifier at the end of August, then Rebecca Stokel could be the option. Cover goes out. Good length, that one. Just a little bit of shape, more like straightening the ball up than any massive banana in swing from the left arm seamer. But she's been impressive coming into the team today, and you do wonder why she was left out up until this point with the experience that she has and the different angle as well.
Yeah, she was one of the names that was really prominent and well known at the start of this series when looking through the squads.
Takes on the field, down the track, Amy Hunter. You won't keep her quiet for too long. 4 dots, but gets off the mark with a stylish boundary. Dancing down, lifts it over the infield. And Ireland underway.
This is looking really confident from Hunter here, using her feet down the ground. Pick out mid-off there, straight over the top. Great use of feet.
Yeah, it prompts a change in the field immediately. Long off back and fine leg comes in. Maybe doesn't have the pace on the ball. Amy Hunter not afraid to play the ramp shot early, so will that just invite her to try that out? You'd imagine that's why that fielder was back there to start off with. Wide half volley, and a little bit of luck goes the way of the opener, because that could have gone to hand quite easy, but bisects the fielders for the second boundary in the over. It closes that one out with 8 runs. Ireland after one, they're 8 without loss.
So after 4 consecutive dots here, Amy Hunter's had a reversal of fortunes, going hard at the ball there outside the off stump. Wide delivery. She's thrown her hands at it, and it is said it wasn't particularly well controlled, but the result she will be very happy with all the same.
Good to see some supporters braving a little bit of iffy weather. We haven't had the rain that's been forecast over the last couple of days, but yeah, it does feel like it's not too far away. I think the ground staff are ready and waiting in case something happens. This is we were talking about these glasses, and I feel like she's similar to you, Raki. She needs the lenses in the glasses to bowl.
It's not always just a style thing,
Yeah.
but sometimes it can feel best of both worlds.
Yeah, she's been impressive, hasn't she, Tendai Makusha? It's her first series for Zimbabwe. I think she's looked confident. I mean, much as I'm saying that those sunglasses are what I'm imagining their lenses in there, she's able to pull them off with the way that the confidence she's bowled with.
Most definitely.
Really good length to start, and just having a look at her action, she's got a lovely gather, doesn't she? Great strength at the popping crease. Gets through her action, goes into the pitch. Not as much shape early on from Tendai Makusha as we saw yesterday. And she was creating a bit of trouble for Orla Prendergast when she first came in. Short and helped on its way. You cannot bowl there to Rebecca Stokel, the tall opening batter. She gets between the 2 fielders, saving one on the leg side for her opening boundary.
And she's quick to get back, Stokel is, if she's given the length. And despite finding a great length the previous 2 deliveries, she just dropped this one a little bit too short. And Stokel has put that away.
Yeah, pounced on it, didn't she? She was waiting for the short ball. If they've aired, they've generally aired too short, Zimbabwe. Clearly trying to bowl into the pitch here. Oh, that one's much fuller, and she loves that shot. Rebecca Stokel follows up a pretty powerful pull shot with a stylish drive. You know, you're in good touch when you can play the on drive, and Rebecca Stokel, well, she's started really well, being elevated up the order.
I was just going to say, it's such a fine line bowling to Rebecca Stokel, because she's got a long reach, she's tall, and she just leant over that with a little bit of length, slightly too full. But the ball before, definitely too short. That ball to Rebecca Stokel with her reach, a little bit too full, and it's hard to find that middle ground.
Yeah, very frustrating as a bowler, because there wasn't much wrong with that. Sometimes you got to tip the cap. A good shot, and it's short, and that could go anywhere. It's kind of flying to third. It's definitely not what was meant by Stokel. Not sure actually where she was trying to hit that, truth be told. It's kind of like a flat bat down the ground, maybe.
Yeah, it looked like it was probably 180 degrees away from where it was meant to go. It was looked like it was meant to go straight.
Change the field for Amy Hunter. Fine leg comes up, square leg back. The other fielder out is third. That we just saw that fielder collecting that top edge from Stokel. Much better delivery to Hunter, who just drops the bat on it to get a single to close out. A good over for Ireland, 10 from it after 2, 18 without loss.
And that shot's been so useful for Hunter over the years. Rather than collecting a dot ball, she's very handy at getting off strike.
Yeah, something that was very noticeable when my brother Ed Joyce came in as women's coach. He added those skills to every single player, being able to get off strike behind third and tuck into square leg. And it's almost like adding weapons to your armory. Just added one after the other, and every player finds different ones easier than others. She definitely likes that one down to third. Sabanda to continue. The footwork again, chance down. Their fielding has let them down, Zimbabwe. There's no two ways about it. They've created opportunities, but they've grasped them as well. Amy Hunter gets a life.
It's always a tough chance diving forward mid-off there, trying to read the delivery, trying to read where the ball is going, the trajectory, but she should have got there. Got it at shin height, diving forward.
Yeah, I think it actually got to her more quickly than she expected it to. She was diving forward, expecting it to drop in front of her, and actually she probably didn't need to dive, which she'll be disappointed by. It was hit better than she thought. Just, she got too close to it, Amy Hunter, to get the elevation to send it over mid-off. So she gets a life on 9, dances down again, finds the gap this time, just punched through. Modesta Mubachikwa not keeping today. That was her doing the fielding. That has gone to Dururu, one of the other keepers. They've got a few in their ranks, Zimbabwe, so she's getting the opportunity today. Now with Stokel on strike, fine leg goes back out. Not sure that's the option for Stokel. Very strong over mid-off, but decides not to try and take it on as of yet.
You're unlikely to see the ramp from Stokel, especially in the first 6 overs.
Well, it's actually something I wanted to ask you about, because Amy Hunter's got the opening position now, and I think she's great at it. It's nothing to do with her not being a good opener, but sometimes the hardest position to fill is a finishing role. That role coming in, that's kind of what Stokel has done the first 2 games. She's been in that position to come in and finish when there's 2-3 hours left. She's the one who's sent in. But is there a case to be made for Stokel going up the top and Amy Hunter doing the finishing role, because she's so good and adaptable at using pace and against spin bowling as well?
Certainly, I think it could be, an argument could be made both ways, and it's great to see Stokel up top, and it probably would benefit Amy Hunter to have some experience in the finishing role as well.
Long on back. Stokel looks to try and plunder a single down there, but it's a good second over from Sibanda. Just the 3 singles off the first 3 balls. 21 without loss after 3 Ireland.
And with more cricket being played and Ireland getting to play in various places around the world, there could be conditions that suit Hunter more than Stokel, such as potentially the subcontinent where there's a bit more sweeping. She plays a bit squarer. So it's great to have players that have confidence and experience in a few different positions.
Yeah, and the other reason I bring it up is because Amy Hunter no doubt will be thinking she wants to get into franchise cricket, and people who can come in at 5 and 6 and finish a game are few and far between, so it could just add a feather to her cap if she's able to do it. We know Stokel can do both, but can Amy Hunter if the occasion arose? Makusha continues, and Amy Hunter continues to dance down and whack the ball over the bowlers' heads. How many can she add after that missed opportunity from Zimbabwe? She's certainly added 4.
Amy Hunter determined to make Zimbabwe pay for that missed opportunity there. She's come down the wicket, created some space for herself to get full bat swing through, and showed that she can hit in multiple areas.
Yeah, changing the field again. Mid-off. Well, they've decided not to change the field, actually. She's gone back, but they've brought her back up. Interesting to see that shot from Amy Hunter, because she's someone who can't get too close to the ball. The way she plays the ball over the top, I think that was the problem on the previous occasion. Whereas you take a Gabby Lewis or Rebecca Stokel, more technically correct, they'll get the high elbow and punch over the top. Amy Hunter kind of has a long swing, more like a hockey or a golf swing for that shot.
You're absolutely right, there is, and you can see, exactly how much space she created for herself, and that's exactly what she needs to do. Whereas if one of the other Irish batters who plays a little bit straight with a straighter bat got into that position, they may have found it going past the outside edge.
Yeah. It just makes it difficult to bowl to teams when not every batter plays the same.
And that's the great thing about Ireland's lineup at the moment. There is quite a bit of variety in where players hit, how they play.
Yeah. Dururu up to the stumps now, trying to keep Gabby Lewis home. And the chance, another one goes down. Oh, it was a sharp chance. Sibanda, who saw a chance go down off her bowling. Would have been a beauty, but they'll want to take those chances, Zimbabwe, if they're going to turn their fortunes around.
And similar to the ball in the first over where she was given width, Hunter's just thrown her hands through this, and she'll be disappointed to have dropped that. Amy Hunter's been given another life. And she's pulled away there.
Yeah,
Give herself some time.
I was just trying to think of how to say. I thought that was a much harder chance than it was. When we got that other angle, you could see it actually was kind of straight to her. Hit with power. Truth be told, it was a chance that should have been taken. And Amy Hunter, can you put it behind you and go on to make a big score?
We've seen how lively Zimbabwe have been in the field, despite Ireland putting on a big total yesterday. But it's moments like that that can really start to flatten everyone, dampen the spirits a little bit.
I think it's Rano Pasipano Nodia who dropped the other chance in mid-off. Let's try that again. Rano Pasipano Nodia. She was in mid-off. She's in extra cover now, and I think she's one of their best fielders, actually, so they'll be really disappointed she didn't manage to hold on. Makusha quite wide there, asking a lot of Dururu. Short and pulled away with ease by Amy Hunter. Got onto her a little bit more quickly than she expected, so she caught it high on the bat, and good work in the deep to keep it to just 2 runs. Nyasha Gwanzora doing the tidying up out there. It's a big job now for Makusha. Can she get out of the over relatively unscathed? 7 from it so far. That boundary off the first. It's ruining things for her a little bit. And she manages it. Just not really playing that with authority, Amy Hunter. She cuts a little bit of a forlorn figure. And she makes her way down to Rebecca Stokel. There are 4 overs gone in the power play. Ireland 28 without loss. So our 2 umpires today. Johnny Kennedy just on the left of your screen. Kim Cotton will be there's Johnny Kennedy. Always a smile on the face and always a lot of chat as well. Never short of a few words. And Kim Cotton from New Zealand at the other end. It's good life being a top level umpire now. It's tough work to get there, but if you can get to the top, you get some good trips, you get to meet lots of new people. And I love this new thing that they're doing in the last few years where you have an independent umpire from overseas. One tends to come and join, and they're always on the pitch. It's Sue Redfern a lot last summer. Kim Cotton is here for this series. Change in the bowling. Michelle Mavunga, her first bowl of the series, the right arm medium pacer. Thick edge. There's a fielder down there. Should just be one.
And ahead of the ODI series, it's great to see some more bowling options for Zimbabwe. Michelle Mavunga getting a go in this game.
Yeah, look, they're a professional team. They're going into the future tour, the Women's Championship next year. So this is an important series for them to just assess where they're at, because it's a big step up going and playing bilateral series against all the top nations. Well, you don't quite face all the top nations. I think it's 8 tours across 2 years. But Ireland found it a steep learning curve. And I think coming out the other side of that and getting ready for the next edition, you can really see the progress of not just the team on the field, but right across the performance squad and all the players that have different types of contracts. Dances down, doesn't care about the keeper up to the stumps. Amy Hunter trusts herself, trusts her hands, and trusts she'll find the gap, which she does for 4 more.
And this is when we start to see some confidence from Amy Hunter using her feet when she gets some width. And that fielder out there on that cover is quite square to Hunter. It is going to be that ball that she's going to look to put through the offside. So
yeah, she kind of struggles, doesn't she, to actually access cover unless it's off the back foot. So the gap really between extra cover and mid-off is where she's aiming. She does, oh, that's gone very quickly.
Thought she was going to prove us wrong for a second there, but you're right. Unless if the bowler is bowling where they want to and not bowling too short, she will hit the ball straighter.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that extra cover is too wide there for Hunter. You need to close that gap and leave a bit more work for your cover fielder to do it. It is a huge area if you do straighten up that extra cover, but that's the gap she tends to try and find. One area of concern for me with Amy Hunter is her trigger is so late. Has it always been that late? I feel like it's usually she's in position a little bit sooner.
I'd never noticed prior to this series that it was as late as it is, so it could potentially be something to look at for Amy Hunter.
Definitely. Well, if you're triggering too late, you're not in position to actually play the shot. Maybe that's why when she moves her feet down the pitch, she's having more joy because she's getting in position at the right time. Long off goes out for Rebecca Stokel. So everyone up on the leg side. She can't afford to get 2 straight, Mavunga. And that she does. 2 straight. It's full toss as well. Easy pickings for Rebecca Stokel, who helps herself to another boundary. She's been playing more of a watching role, but getting in on the action now.
And you have to be so precise with your line when you're bowling in the power play. There's a seam bowler, pace on the ball. And she's 2 straight and 2 full there to Stokel, who has been waiting for a full straight ball to put away.
10 from that over, 38 without loss with 1 over to go in the power play. Let's have a look at how it compares to yesterday when Ireland also batted first. They were 49 for 1 at the same point, so not going along quite as well, but they haven't lost a wicket. Also, Gabby Lewis, who's been in rude form, it looks like she's going to be right down the order. Having a look at who's padded up, Laura Delaney's in the pads as well. So it looks like Coulter, Riley, Little and Delaney will get an opportunity. Or Prendergast and Leah Paul relaxing on the right-hand side of your screen there. They don't look too worried about batting. Kellis and Clovu will be the next bowler coming up for Zimbabwe, the left-arm spinner. And She made her 50th appearance in T20 internationals in the last game. She was probably the player of the match. Well, she was the player of the match for Zimbabwe on that occasion. And she got a well-made 46 and 1 for 25 in her 4. Tosses one up outside off, finds the gap, does Amy Hunter. We said she's not strong through the offside. She's found the fielder a number of times, but finally finds the gap through covers, and she's really making them pay for a couple of missed chances, Zimbabwe.
Amy Hunter really starting to get going now, and with that field from Kellis Nklovu there, you've got to bowl a bit straighter. There's a lot of space out there. Hunter has capitalised on it well.
Yeah, they have the field set for her strength, which is the sweep, mid-wicket and square leg are out. She'll get that out of the toolbox now. Fielder mid-wicket tidies it up pretty easily. Ireland's running was very good yesterday, particularly Gabby Lewis and Order Prendergast, so something that these two will try and emulate, no doubt.
And both of them are very quick between wickets, and two of them will, definitely be trying to take on the field. As we see a change to the field there, we've got square legs coming in, and mid-off has gone deep to long off. Shows they've done their research. You won't see Rebecca Stokel sweeping too often in the power play.
And she just takes a quick single. I think Amy Hunter, she trusted the call. I don't know if she was too keen when she was first called through, but Stokel did manage to get it between the two fielders, saving a single on the leg side.
Sometimes it can be hard as the batter running to the non-danger end when you think, how is she going to make that? But easily done in the end.
Down the pitch from Hunter, and precision of a surgeon. She finds the gap once more between extra cover and mid-off. These two trying to make full use of the final over with the fielding restrictions. Kellis Nklovu has got to try and claw back this over. It's another boundary.
And as is mentioned previously, Hunter's looking in great touch when she's using her feet, and there's another example of it there, making the ball into the length she wanted, sliding it straight through mid-off and extra cover.
Good comeback. In the first game of the series, and Nklovu was expensive in her first serve and she didn't get another go, but yesterday she bowled 4 overs. She was important to keep that score to something that you think you could chase, so her spell is going to be important to Zimbabwe. Down the pitch again, and that's the best shot of the day so far. Amy Hunter just deposits that over the top for 6, the first maximum of the Ireland innings. It's the 50 up for the team and for the partnership. Power play is over. Last over was the best so far, and the power play done and dusted, 52 without loss for Ireland.
What a way to finish off the power play. Amy Hunter down the pitch, makes room for herself, and she has sent that all the way for 6. And Isabel Joyce is leaving me in the commentary box now, and we're welcoming Claire Shillington, Irish cricket legend. Welcome, Claire.
Hi, Celeste. How are you?
Yeah, well,
I'm not sure I deserve the legend status anymore. I think that's long gone now.
Oh, geez, beyond legend. 147 caps across all formats and 2,295 runs. No mean feat, and I am told that the career began in 1997.
That's correct, on this very cricket pitch, actually, back a few years ago.
It's a great place to play cricket, and Claire Shillington, of course, Pembroke cricket, long-term Pembroke cricket legend. And Vunga to bowl, 7th over here. Started off well. So Claire, the ground, the conditions, we've noticed it's a little slower than usual out there with the rain we've had. What do you think is par score today? What will they be aiming for?
Well, they've obviously thrown the curveball in there of changing up the batting order slightly. So, I'm sure they would have.
And Stokel has hit the ball in the air, and much tougher chance for Sabanda there than the previous chance. Stokel has not got enough on that. It's a great effort from the fielder, Sabanda. Wide delivery, Stokel low on the bat, huge reach. And another chance goes down.
Yeah, that's a good effort. I know they'll be ruining their missed chances yesterday. I'm sure Rebecca will be looking to make them pay for that one as well. Difficult chance though.
Definitely. We were saying yesterday that with the standard of the fielding increasing, unfortunately sometimes they get put, really good efforts get put in the dropped column.
Yeah. Sure.
And Hunter has gone for the lap we've been talking about, the lap we've been waiting for. She plays it so well.
Great shot. She gets in position so early, and her small stature, I think, is an aid for her on these.
You can see here, straight right at the stumps, and yeah,
that's low risk for a player of Amy Hunter's ability.
And she's shown she can play the next ball straight through cover. So 57 for none. Not too bad a start from Mavunga here.
I think that's the class of Amy there. What Gabby's done well the last two games is scoring your boundary and then rotating the strike the very next ball. It's pretty hard for these bowlers.
And Stokel has pulled the ball, and despite the effort there of the boundary fielder, that has gone all the way for 4. You can see here the height of Rebecca Stokel works in her advantage. Too short there, too wide.
Yeah, she's going to put that away every day of the week. Big tall levers on her. She's well able to pull that to the cow boundary there.
Mavunga's going to want to finish this over with the minimum of damage. She's going to want to get out of it quickly. And it's not the delivery that she wanted. Tough for Daruru there behind the stumps. And it has been called a wide. So Claire, would that have been going through your head when you were batting out there and you just hit a boundary? Would you be looking to hit a single the next ball, rotate the strike?
Absolutely. Scoring shot the next ball anyway. I probably didn't have the nuance of Amy Hunter to look for a single, and I'd probably still go at one pace, but certainly scoring off the next ball.
And that ends the 7th over there. Ireland 64, still for no loss. Mavunga expensive now off her 2 overs, none for 22 at the end of her 2. Well, yeah, big difference between these two batters in how they play, heights and everything.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's good to see Rebecca Stokel getting a chance up at the top of the order. I'm sure she'll be relishing the opportunity. She's, I suppose, feeding off the end of innings for the last couple of games. She certainly has the game to open in T20 cricket. So I said earlier, those levers, and she can certainly go big. Sure, she was dropped that last over. She'll be looking to cash in now.
And Niklovu to continue 16 off her first over. She's been granted another opportunity, unlike the first game where she was only given 1 over. As we see some nuance continued from Stokel. It's the first time we've seen a ramp from her. Not what we'd always expect early in Stokel's innings, but very impressive way to see her scoring boundaries.
Yeah, she got down nice and early. That's probably on about off stump line, and she's just eased it round the corner. I guess enough pacing it with the low full toss. Fielder's never had a chance there, so great option for her.
And then, as Claire was talking about earlier, last over, looking for that scoring shot, low risk.
Yeah, it's great cricket from her.
Klovu, quick through the air. It looks to be a clever bowler for a young age, very important part of the Zimbabwe team. It's tough here coming into your second over when you've already gone for 21.
Yeah, I think she's done it right the last 2 games, so I'm sure she'll be looking to pull that back after a loose enough first over. She can tie Amy up now for a couple of balls here. It's great bowling. 2 dots there. She'll be feeling a lot more confident now.
Really well bowled. Be interesting to see here whether Hunter tries to go for a boundary or whether she chooses a low percentage shot to get down the other end. Clever batting from Hunter.
Yeah, that's excellent.
And it is so often after those 2 dots that you see a risk taken, sometimes unnecessarily.
Yeah, exactly. And there's no need at this stage, really. Still 6 off the over. Finish with a boundary here. And the dot. Well bowled.
And that's the end of the Niklova over. The end of 8 overs, Ireland are 70 for none. Stokel 25 off 17 and Hunter 42 off 31. Current run rate of 8.75, still very healthy. And Claire, we were just saying before that it isn't often that Ireland does decide to completely change the batting order, the lineup, and have a real look at players in different positions. What do you think about Rebecca Stokel up the top?
Yeah, I think it's a great option. Obviously, she's the type of batter you probably have her at the top, or you have her somewhere kind of 6, 5, 6, 7, that kind of finishing. You know, she's a destructive batter. I haven't seen her bat up at the top for a little bit, but like as I said, I'm sure she's relishing that opportunity. I think it's a really fantastic decision by the coaches. Obviously, a new coach coming in and willing to change things up after 2 convincing wins. You know, it's a good opportunity for him to really see some other players.
Got a change of bowler here. Beloved Beezer entered the attack. Hunter on the sweep first ball. Will they go for 2? Yes, they will. Easy 2 in the end. These 2 are very quick between wickets.
So I've been really impressed with the running. All the 2 games and today as well. Like, I think it's something they've obviously worked on as a unit. There's some real whippets in there, and they're maximising their potential for runs out there.
Hunter down the ground, an easy single in the end there. Great option to get off strike. You can see now that the power play is over. There isn't as much pressure on Hunter. If she does face a ball that she finds it hard to score off, there's plenty of space out there.
Yeah, exactly. They're long on and long off, both back, and two leg side sweepers as well.
She's bowled a good line there. I was just going to say that she doesn't want to give Stokel too much width there with the current field she has.
Yeah, she's bowling nice and slow. They're going to have to generate a lot of the power here. We're looking to strangle them somewhere down at Cow, I would think, either of these 2.
And Hunter's hit space there. She's hit that very well. Oh. And unfortunately for Zimbabwe, misfield on the boundary there. That's gone for 4.
Yeah, that's unlucky for the bowler there. That's, you know, she's hit it well, but probably didn't deserve to go for the boundary.
She started well, Beezer. She's had good control. She's bowled in good areas. It's disappointing to see. You can hear the shouts of 1, 1, 1, 1 out there from the Zimbabwean fielders. They are on to these batters knowing that they're going to try and get back for the second. As Beloved Beezer's over ends, 10 off. Ireland after 9 overs, 80. And Amy Hunter has hit her 50 off 35 deliveries. 8 fours, 1 6. After a bit of a shaky start, she's been dropped twice. She's really made Zimbabwe pay for it.
Yeah, I'm delighted to see her come good. I think she, you know, obviously Gabby has taken the headlines, rightly so, the last 2 matches, but you know, there's something very special about Amy Hunter at the top of the order, and it's great to see her, you know, doing it at home here. I say home, the island of Ireland. She has moved down south for college, I believe, so no doubt she'll lose that northern accent soon enough, like I did.
And the other the other Irish player I wanted to ask you about, one of your local Pembroke players, Orla Prendergast. Great innings yesterday.
Fantastic. Again, you know, she didn't come off really in the first game. Just fantastic to see her do what she can do well. She's just amazing to watch. I'm very lucky to be in the same club as her and occasionally get to be down the other end watching her do her thing. It looks effortless as it flies past you over the ropes or along the ground. So yeah, delighted to see her to get a few runs yesterday, and obviously did well with the ball as well.
All three disciplines.
Absolutely.
She's unreal. So Chapari enters the attack and is duly sent off by Hunter. First ball.
Maybe slight premeditation there. She obviously has seen her the last couple of games. She had sized that one up fairly quickly.
And you can see Chapari is quite consistent with her length and her line, which just allows exactly what Claire said, the ability to be able to premeditate, create some space for herself. Now she's hit a 50. Confidence is there.
Nice short boundary down to the clubhouse as well. I'm sure she's looking to access that off this bowler.
It's tough for Chapari to bowl to Amy Hunter when she's in form. She accesses so many different areas of the ground.
Yeah, she's really a 360 batter, as are all of our top order batters now. It's fantastic to see. And then all the way to Leopold.
That's well hit through the offside. Some work to do in the deep. And good running in the end. The misfield contributes one extra to the score there. And now that there have been a couple of little spills out there, these two are putting the pressure on the fielders.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you create that pressure, and as I said, these two are great runners. Any slight misfield out there, they're going to capitalise on it.
And that has gone up and is very well fielded there, down at fine leg. So we're going to see a repeat of another boundary there, and poor fielding in the end there from the bowler. Wasn't able to pick it up, and they've snuck through for an extra run, which means Amy Hunter's retained the strike.
Yeah, that's the last thing they'll have wanted. You know, they really need to keep it tight here. Small fumble there out in the covers. Overthrow. You know, things can unravel quite quickly here.
A bit of a mix-up with the running there, but easily home. And we see Hunter again rely on the little push through third man as her rotation to strike. And the other player I was going to ask you about, Claire, Pembroke player, is Louise Little. We haven't seen much of Louise Little so far this series, but looking forward to seeing hopefully some batting from her today.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, I think she's shown what she can do in the field. She's a super fielder.
That has gone high. Rebecca Stokel's got a lot of bat on it. And it's gone all the way for 4 runs. Again, a little too straight from Chapari. And even with the deep fielder there at 45, it's hard to cover all of that space out there when you're bowling so straight.
Exactly, yeah. And she's just shuffled across her stumps there, and again, maybe slight premeditation, something they've both spoken about, accessing that leg side. You know, they've square in, so that's an easy option up and over.
No change in the field. Chapari to bowl the final ball, the 10th over. And once again, Stokel has hit that vacant forward square area.
That's a poor finish to the over there for her. She'll be disappointed with that, having already gone the distance.
And that's 17 off the over. Ireland at the end of 10 overs, 96 for none. And as Claire mentioned, Stokel creating space for herself. If you're bowling straight and the intent is there to hit square leg, it's an easy shot for Stokel in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you said, they hadn't changed their field, so that's poor. I'm sure she's not looking to bowl that line. Going back to Louise Little there, though, a good Pembroke player. I'd love to see her get an opportunity now. I'd be hoping to see her come in, especially with no wicket down now in the 10th. It'd be great to see her get a knock up the top.
Yeah, definitely. It's been been great to see opportunities from other players. And the ball's gone up. And it's a great catch there. That is a brilliant catch from beloved Biza. She's made great ground, and they're tough when there's 3 players converging at once, all trying to get underneath the ball. Brilliant caught and bowled in the end, and that is the end of Amy Hunter. 59 off 40, 9 fours, 1 6. It's a great comeback from her after a difficult start to her innings.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Amy, just getting the top edge, probably the right shot. A very difficult catch, made super ground, catching over her shoulders. You say plenty of players converging in on her to put her off, but she snaffled that.
And this is exactly who we've been waiting to come in. Pembroke batter, we were just talking about, Louise Little.
I hope I didn't jinx Amy there by looking forward to seeing Louise Little bat, but as I said, very, very happy to see her coming in and getting her opportunity. Another really destructive batter, very used to this ground, has long levers, another tall batter, hits very well straight down the ground and can play it all around the park as well, so we're really excited to see her have a good stab at this now.
And she's been so brilliant in the field. She really is an asset, even if she isn't batting or bowling in matches. And selection-wise, teams are always looking to have players like Louise Little that can really contribute. So dynamic when they come in.
Absolutely, and you know, she always has a couple of overs if needed in her back pocket. I know they've a wealth of bowlers in their attack at the minute, but it's always another option as well.
And lucky she wasn't too casual there, because the throw has crashed the stumps down. Beloved Biza may have been hit there by the bail. Just wiping the side of her face. Louise Little off the mark. To Biza. It's well played in the end.
That's exactly what you want. Coming in, get yourself down the other end, have a nice look at it.
And that's it, the bail is
Water in the face, yeah.
flying into
Some
it.
nasty injuries over the year with bails in the face.
Shauna Kavanagh on this ground.
Shauna Kavanagh, yeah. Mark Boucher was a nasty one, wasn't he?
Oh, it was awful.
Back in the day.
And measured there from Stokel. And it's always a good sign seeing Stokel fully in control, not wanting to take any risks.
Yeah, I suppose the key is now that they continue with that run rate of, you know, they're pushing 9 up to 10. I think they went 17 2 overs before, you know, that they can keep that run rate going. I suppose Stokel will lead the charge on that.
And that's very well fielded in there, Sabanda. And the beauty of these two is that they're both very powerful. They're both strong down the ground. They know they can catch up if they face a few dots.
Absolutely.
They won't be panicking. These are so far only 2 off the over and the wicket. They're hoping to finish this one off. And with that single there from Little to finish 11th over, 3 off and a wicket, best over of the day so far. Biza now 1 for 12 off her 2.
That's a super over from Zimbabwe there. They really needed that after a couple of hefty ones.
Yeah. Beloved Biza, as we were just saying, has started off very well with 12 runs off her 2 overs. She's taken the only wicket so far. Sabanda looked impressive early with the new ball in her first game of the series. Left armour. I know I certainly played a few games against her. I'm sure you faced her at some point throughout your career. They are a very young team, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good while since I played. I, funnily enough, played Zimbabwe very little. I missed a couple of tours. I've never toured Zimbabwe. I don't think I would have played against any of these players, but yeah, no, she was impressive up top. I suppose Amy playing cautiously, conscious of getting herself a score that she deserved, and Rebecca Stokel up in batting in the opening partnership, was looking to kind of get herself into the game as well.
That brings Naisha Gwanzura into the attack. And Louise Little wastes no time. Stokel 35 off 23. And we can hear the Zimbabwe supporters in the background. They're few in number, but they made a lot of noise the last couple of days.
They're fantastic. I think my, taking nothing away from the girls, but I think my 3-year-old daughter was as mesmerised by them as she was by the cricket. Great to have in. Maybe a little bit of nerves there from Lulu Little. I'd back her to get that through the covers on any given day, so I'm sure she'll like to get one away here.
And fortune for Little there, who, as you said, maybe a little nervy after facing a couple of dots, especially, as you say, she's so strong through the covers, and if she's not hitting them through, should be wanting to really get off strike here.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure she was just wanting to rotate there, get herself down the other end. Just needs to give herself a little bit of time here. As you said, she's well able to catch up. She'll hit some lusty blows, and only getting her first opportunity to bat in the series. I'm sure there's a few nerves there, but get herself through here now. There we go. Well done.
And that was well played by Little there. And would have been pretty close if she'd called for the second there. These two of the quickest runners in Ireland's team. Although we did see Lewis and Prendergast yesterday, who'd give them a run for their money.
Yeah, be interesting to see a little race between those guys.
We're approaching the last ball of the 12th over here. Gwanzura has only gone for 3 so far. But it's going to finish with a boundary, and that is a great shot there from Rebecca Stokel, who has hit that so well down the ground. And many thanks to Claire Shillington for joining us there. She's now going to make way for Isabel Joyce, who's returning to the commentary box.
Thanks, Raki. Listening to your dulcet tones next door. Thanks to Claire Shillington, who got to oversee Louise Little coming out for her first go in the series. Nice shot that from Rebecca Stokel. So strong down the ground. She's searching for her maiden T20I half century. She's generally coming in down the order, hitting late runs. So it is a tough one for the stats people to kind of figure out what's a good average for someone like her. Beloved Biza gives herself room and finds the gap through the covers. Really getting into her work now is Rebecca Stokel.
And we've seen her move both sides of the stumps now. We saw her step towards the off stump to hit the ball through the leg side, and now we're seeing her step away. So she's showing that she can access all areas of the ground and that she's in control at the moment.
Bit of a Biza good catch she took, wasn't it, to get rid of Amy Hunter? I didn't think she was going to get there, the 16-year-old. She's very good when she bowls on the stumps, isn't she? Almost fuller than full seems to be a difficult one for both these batters to deal with. A chance in the deep? No. And they'll just come around and keep it to 1 in the deep there. I think we missed a ball, didn't we, at the start? I was kind of confused as to how that was Rebecca Stokel who'd got the boundary off what looked like the opening ball of the over, but there was a single from Louise Little to start. She's back on strike now. And it's interesting to me, I don't know if Claire Shillington talked about it there, but historically Louise Little's so good over the top against spinners. I'm not really seeing her take on the straight boundaries as much.
She is so strong straight, but perhaps coming in And when you're a little bit nervy, she may be overthinking it, but it is hard when she's so strong there. It's almost as natural to her going over for one bounce, 4 over extra cover as it is to defend a ball.
She looks to go straight, inside edge, sends it through the legs. That'll just be 1. It's a good comeback from Biza, that second ball going for 4 through the covers. And after 13, Ireland 113 for 1. Gwanzura. She'll, I think, retain the ball after her efforts in the last over. She didn't bowl in the first 2 games. She did play, but she didn't bowl. And got 4 and 0. So she'll be happy to get an opportunity with ball in hand. Just saw Mary Waldron in the distance there behind from that other angle. We'll be hearing from her in the second innings. Great to get former players in to join us. Different former players, of course. Oh, that wasn't far away from bottom edge. I thought I heard something there. I think that would have been going up.
Gwanzura looked excited about it, but yeah, no appeal.
Louise Little just giving herself room to the leg side, but can't find the gap. It's packed, that offside. Love to see her just using her feet and looking to take on the boundary fielders straight. And she decides to come down this time, but full toss means that she'll just push it leg side. They're going to take on the throw chance. Gone. Rebecca Stokel, well, she took on the fielder. She's disappointed. She doesn't quite make it to her previous best of 48. It's been a brilliant stand, a brilliant start, I mean, from Rebecca Stokel, but they picked the wrong fielder to take on. The fielding's let them down with the catching, with the ground fielding coming back strong. Gwanzura, the bowler, goes out to congratulate the fielder in the deep who, yeah, that was a great pick up and throw, wasn't it?
It was. These two of Ireland's quickest players, especially Stokel. She's very quick to get back, so to be able to affect the run out against these two is an impressive show of fielding. But disappointment for Stokel as she turns here. She perhaps hesitated for a second there, and that is the difference.
Yeah, she did. She hesitated, and that's all it takes is just one small hesitation. She'll be frustrated. What that does do, though, is give an opportunity to another player who's got their opportunity today. Christina Coulter-Riley coming out for Ireland. I'm just trying to figure out who actually did the fielding in the deep. But is it? Can't quite make it out. But Gwanzura has bowled well and has created that opportunity with tight lines. Yeah, don't worry about that graphic. It's Louise Little still out in the middle, but Rebecca Stokel, I think it was 45 she got in her innings, getting the opportunity at the top of the order. And that's heave leg side. Louise Little looking to take it on. She goes for the catch in the deep, but can't get there. And unfortunately, because she doesn't get there, it's going to go over the rope for boundary, a much needed boundary for Louise Little as she's trying to get going here.
And it's the bravery from the fielder that you'd want. You'd rather go for the catch and miss out with the best of intentions to get there, which she did in that case, whereas we see sometimes fielders hanging back a little bit to try and take the ball in one bounce.
That'll be a wide. Christina Coulter-Riley having to make her way back in her ground. But yeah, I think you've got to go for the chances, don't you? You never know if you don't go. That's going to find the gap, I think, as well. No, good work in the deep from Sibanda. They will take on the throw because she used the body rather than the hands. So an easy couple. Just trying to catch up with our graphics here. But that will be the end of Gwanzura's over. And after 14, it's 120 for 2. Christina Coulter-Riley, the new batter, out. She's top order batter from Clontarf. Gets her first opportunity. She's also a keeper. It'll be interesting to see if she gets the gloves or if she'll be the one doing the fielding between her and Amy Hunter. She's deputised for Hunter when Ireland toured India earlier this year. Beloved Biza continuing. So it's a strong shot down the ground, and I guess that's the value of coming in at this stage, Celeste, that the field is spread and it's easy to get off the mark.
That's it. It's certainly easier to push those singles around, and in the power play, it can be hard without taking risks. But in this part of the game, there's always singles.
Full toss to Little, who decides not to take it on. It just looks like she's a little bit nervous, doesn't it? She'd usually look to send that one out of the ground, didn't she?
Yeah, and perhaps coming in after not batting for 2 games, can put a bit of pressure on a batter and make them feel like it's all on them today.
And has that found the stone? No, is it? Yes, it has. Off the bat of Christina Coulter-Riley. Frustration for her as she looked to manipulate the field. Managed to get bat on it, I think, but onto her own stump. So the elevation for her hasn't paid off. Got off strike. We will catch up with our graphics before too long, I'm sure. 2 singles and the wicket to start off this Beloved Biza over. She's been really good taking the second, but Christina Coulter-Riley, disappointment for her.
And yeah, very disappointing for Coulter-Riley. She got into a reasonably good position, but perhaps just got a little bit upright and wasn't down as much as she would have liked. It is a tough shot to play early in your innings, and even though there is a higher chance of reward, it's a little more risky than going down the ground for 1 or 2.
Laura Delaney, who was pushed down the order yesterday, she'll get an opportunity to come out. Trying to get a view of who else is padded up to see who might be coming in next. But some valuable wickets for Zimbabwe, and it just shows you that if you can start to take wickets, you can slow the run rate down. It's slowed right down for Ireland. And Laura Delaney will be hoping to get things going, but they reached the 100 mark in the 12th over, Ireland. And they're still scoring pretty well, but definitely not as freely as when Amy Hunter in particular was out in the middle. I wonder, will Ava Canning maybe get an opportunity with the bat? She can hit boundaries late on in the innings, or would it be one of the recognised batters, Leah Paul or the Prendergast, Gabby Lewis, still to come in? An embarrassment of riches for Ireland, really.
So many options, and yeah, taking a wicket's usually an exciting thing for the fielding team, but when you've got those players in the shed.
Down the pitch straight away from Laura Delaney and off the mark as well. Gets her innings up and running. Maybe the calm head of the former Ireland captain will help Louise Little. He's looked a little bit frenetic, maybe moved away from her natural game slightly. Another full one from Beloved Biza, just pushed away by Little.
That length has been very successful for Biza today. The just fuller than a half volley, really. Almost Yorker length.
Footwork from Louise Little. I think she came down and then actually ran back. She had time. It was the quicker, wider one from Beloved Biza. Sharp work from Dururu behind the stumps, but it's not going to be out. And I think the umpire is going to come together here because the rain is coming down a little bit more heavily. Will they opt to stay out there, or? So yeah, and apologies for our graphic is not quite right at the moment, so we'll put it back up once the scores have sorted things out. But it's in and around 122, I think, 123 at the moment for 3 wickets. Laura Delaney, the 5th batter out. They're deciding to stay out there. It has actually, I think it stopped raining all of a sudden. Never good when you look around the ground and you see the umbrellas out.
Never a good omen, but this is surprisingly the first time in the 3 matches that we've really had to consider whether the umpires were going to converge and send everyone off.
That's such a good point. And yeah, 122 for 3. We're obviously at the end of that over, so that we'll be catching up very shortly. Gwanzora to continue. She's been good. She's kept things tight. She's kept the stumps in play by and large. And Laura Delaney, a strong shot. It is a really strong area for her 3-point, but can't find the gap.
Two consecutive dots there for Gwanzura. Doesn't look easy out there when the spinners are hitting their lengths.
No, and I think it just makes the knocks from Gabby Lewis the first 2 days. It really shows the value of them and the quality that was on display. She does find the gap this time, Laura Delaney. Made sure to get in front of point. Probably doesn't get the power she would have wanted, but Nklovu will catch up with it before it reaches the boundary. It's just a couple. We are catching up on our graphics now. It was 119 for 3 after the 14th, and then we've had an over since then. And I think what happened was they mixed up who was out, so they've got to go back and fix it. But we'll no doubt catch up very, very soon. In the meantime, Laura Delaney and Louise Little won't have batted too much together. And yeah, Zimbabwe just sensing an opportunity now, Celeste, to put some pressure on, build some dots, maybe try and take a few more Ireland wickets.
Yeah, it's been great bowling spells from both ends at the moment. Consistency, I've been very impressed with Beloved Biza. Young player, bowling good length. And we've seen there Laura Delaney's two biggest strengths playing through point and coming down using her feet down the ground as well.
Yeah, she's very, very strong down the ground, isn't she? So it just does make it difficult, especially for spinners, to bowl to her. Louise Little, probably the bigger hitter of the two. She, again, looking to go straight and Yorks herself. So really good over this from Gwanzora. Not too much in it, just the two and then a single. There's just 5 overs remaining, or 4 overs remaining, I should say. Bowling options for the captain. She put Mugeri Tirapano, or Spiwe Tirapano, as goes on the score sheet. She's decided to go with Kellison Klovu. She's bowled 2 overs for 22, expensive, and I think that was probably down to Amy Hunter's prowess with the sweep shot and just toying with her ever so slightly. So she's going to change ends and come on from the Willfield Road end. Left arm spinner. This is their 51st game, coming up against Laura Delaney, Ireland's most experienced player. This is her 116th T20 international, would you believe? High score of 70, 350s, 87 wickets, so an out-and-out all-rounder. Takes on the field straight. A nice connection from Laura Delaney, gets her first boundary. The rain is coming down, you can see it on your screen. So Delaney wants to get things going, get as many as she can before the umpires maybe decide to pull them off.
And that is a brilliant shot there from Laura Delaney. And it is classic Laura Delaney to the spinner. She's a very hard player to bowl to, as we said, plays so well down the ground.
Change of the field, long on goes back, square leg comes in. Can Laura Delaney unleash the sweep shot? She does go straight to it. Not her most comfortable shot, it has to be said, but great to see she's looking to add it to her armoury. And she gets it away this time. The fielder is quite square out there at mid-wicket. So it'll just be one. Louise Little will, I think there was a message in a bottle. I don't know if you saw Arlene Kelly coming out in the bib. There was a message coming out from the tent. It might have been boundaries. Got to be boundaries now because we've got some real firepower coming in behind you. What area can Louise Little find? She finds wide. It's a good plan. They know she wants to come down the pitch, Zimbabwe, but Ruru doesn't collect, and I don't think she would have got back to the stumps anyway had she collected, would she?
You can see the intent there, though, the Arlene Kelly message.
Yeah. And sets herself for a strong sweep shot. There's work to do in the deep. They might come back for the second. Oh, this is a chance for Zimbabwe, but Dururu comes towards the ball. I just wonder, could she have stayed at the stumps and given herself a chance to take the run out?
One of the things that we might not think about as much is once the rain's fallen, the return throw every time it bounces does get a lot of its power taken off. Usually in Pembroke it's so fast around the square, but here with the rain, sometimes the bounce doesn't serve anyone.
Another sweep shot doesn't beat the fielder. They're going to take a pretty easy single because of the misfield. So changing the field for Delaney. Those two sweep shots have probably done what she wanted them to do, which is bring cover up and put square back. And actually, she's much more comfortable playing through the offside. And she does that now. Good length from Nklovu means it's just a single down, too long off.
And it's amazing the amount of cricket that these players are playing in this era of cricketer, isn't it? We were just saying Claire Shillington played from 97 to 2018 and played 147 matches. Some of these players are looking to well surpass that in half the time.
Yeah, and even I think players starting now, if you get in the team and you play every game, they're going to get to those milestones even more quickly than the likes of Gabby Lewis and Laura Delaney. And I think you can kind of see that with Paul Sterling now. He's at 400 caps. He's the most capped international in Ireland in any sport.
It's so many matches. It's hard to believe one man can play 400 matches.
Kwanzura will finish out her spell. So we will have the score for you very shortly. There we go. They're counting up. We're going to find out exactly where we're at before too long. It is Kwanzura bowling, but she's bowling around the wicket now to Delaney, who comes down and sends it wide of long off. Little should come back for two, and she does. Goes the wrong end, does Francisca Chapare.
That's great running from these two, and very well played by Laura Delaney, just hitting space there. Little square out, then long off.
It's a good angle, this, from Kwanzura. It's surprising that she didn't bowl before today. Tenda Makusha not looking too comfortable out there on the boundary. Monday internationals coming up, so they'll want her fit come Saturday. Those games in Stormont on Saturday and Monday. I'd say Gabby Lewis is in the tent somewhere there. Very jealous of the players out in the middle. It would have been difficult for her to give up her opportunity to bat again. Here's the sweep shot, just helped in its way by Louise Little. Knows the dimensions here in Pembroke all too well to get it towards the clubhouse, and you more often than not get your full value. It's 4 for Louise Little.
And this is great confidence from Little. in at the stumps, and she has hit that to her favourite corner of the ground, regardless of which end you're bowling from. Louise Little seems to always be hitting towards the clubhouse, towards the bar.
And she's kind of been someone who's been a little bit unlucky, isn't she? She's come in and out of the team, started off as a tearaway quick, then got injured. She's 22 years old. This is her 24th match. Looks to repeat the dose. Dururu asked to do too much by Gwanzura, who will rue the fact that she was offline there in her final over. 5 wides, and useful for Ireland as they look to push up to somewhere like where they got to yesterday. That was 176 for 4.
Disappointing for Gwanzura here, who has bowled very well today. It really doesn't help your figures, doesn't do the figures any favour.
Going back over the wicket now, Gwanzura. That's a thick inside edge. Good work in the deep once more.
Louise Little, one of those players that has such great potential as an athlete, as in all 3 disciplines, really. She's great with the bat, ball, and in the field, and athletic, and seems to always find something for the selectors to choose her for.
There's another sweep shot from Laura Delaney. Sends it out to Sibanda. So a big ball this for Gwanzura. She'll want to get out of her spell without much more damage. A healthy run rate for Ireland of above 8. And I think it'll probably be just one. Mavunga has been good out there. Probably been the pick of the fielders coming into the team today. So after 18 overs, Ireland 149 for 3, I can say with confidence. It wreaks havoc when you get the wrong person out on the list. It was Stokel who was run out for 41 from 27. Disappointment for her because she would have been eyeing a much bigger score. Hunter was the destroyer in chief earlier on. She made 59 from 40 deliveries, and Lulu Little, Delaney out there after Coulter Riley was dismissed cheaply for 1. Little and Delaney keeping things going for Ireland.
And for the bowlers, beloved Beezer has been the most impressive with 2 for 21 off her 4. Young bowler, bowled extremely well. Sabanda has had good economy coming into the team with the new ball, and she's only been hit for 9 off her 2. As I say, that she's coming back into the attack.
Yeah, probably one too late, isn't it? Because she's only got the opportunity to bowl 3 out of a possible 4. So sometimes as a captain, when you look back, you regret some decisions. I've certainly found myself in the same situation where you don't quite realise how miserly someone's been. They might not have taken the wickets. Sabanda's also not been the best in the field. She's grasped a couple of opportunities.
It's always easy for us when we've got the scorecard in front of us to say who should bowl, but it is tough out there making decisions quickly.
Left arm around the wicket. It's an edge and gone. Straight away she comes back into the attack and gets the wicket that she feels she probably should have got in her first. Louise Little looking to go big over the offside. Just gave herself too much room, and the catch taken by Makusha. Little goes for 24 from 27. Ireland 149 for 4.
And Sabanda back into the attack. Worthy wicket taker. Given Little some width here. Little hasn't had much foot movement there. She's thrown the hands at it and got a top edge, and it was an easy catch in the end.
Well, we have our answer. Orla Prendergast is the one who's been handed the opportunity to come out at the end. I think it's a case of celebrations because you've taken the wicket, and then you see you striding out next. You might not be quite so happy because Orla Prendergast is one of the best. Not quite as fluent maybe in this series as we've seen her in the past, but she's a dangerous player to come up against, and on her home ground as well. 52 from 44 yesterday. And she was dropped on 5, or she was there was a miss stumping on 5. And she was dropped on 45 as well. They won't want to give her too many opportunities this afternoon, though. Good start. A good ball against Orla Prendergast when she's starting her innings.
And it isn't often that Orla Prendergast gives chances, whilst a few other batters that hit the ball hard would get dropped, frequently early in their innings. Orla Prendergast usually starts off quite measured and does make teams really pay when she does give a chance.
And she goes big this time, heaved into the leg side. Don't bother trying to get there. That's going all the way for 6. Just had a look at one delivery. Orla Prendergast, maybe she's the one that they need to get in the finisher's role. And why she enjoyed that. Just got a tiny bit of length and made Sabanda pay.
And Orla Prendergast, you'd love to have her in every possible role. Second ball of her innings has hit that effortlessly, as clean as possible. Never makes it look difficult.
And she goes again. Doesn't get it quite as well, but she's found the gap anyway. And they're going to take on the throw. Laura Delaney has to get her skates on, and she manages to get home. Really good running from her. She's recognised Prendergast is in a mood. And Sabanda has a tough task here. She needs to get it right up at the toes of Orla Prendergast because she's bowling in at the right-hander. That's a favourite area for her. And slower delivery, step hit. Just sat up so nicely for Orla Prendergast. No fielders in the deep on the offside. Another boundary to the number 6.
And she's making it look easy out there, Orla Prendergast. Too much width. And it does make you feel like she's got all day. You can see there, slower ball, just not well directed enough.
Yeah, slower ball outside off stump with all the fielders up is not presumably what she was meaning to bowl. And no one up, and no one on the boundary at long off either. Just a languid swing of the bat. Good work in the deep, excellent stuff from Michelle Mavunga. She's, as I said, easily been the best fielder for Zimbabwe today. But Orla Prendergast, so quick, comes back for a third. And with 1 over to go, Ireland 168 for 4.
Even with the brilliant stop there, it unfortunately for Zimbabwe means that Orla Prendergast retains the strike.
Yeah, really good over that for Ireland. And despite the wicket, managed to get 15 from it. And they're really pushing that score they made yesterday. And it's interesting to see. I think it's something that a coach likes to see, is that they've reached a similar total but in a completely different way from the game yesterday.
It's very encouraging for Lloyd Tennant and his team. With very little, first 2 games we had a lot of input from Gabby Lewis, and she was responsible for a lot of the runs, and then without her today, it's very positive for Ireland to see that they were able to reach at least 160, 170.
So last over of the day goes to Callison Clovu. Orla Prendergast on strike, giving herself room. She's taken on the fielder in the deep. She settles underneath and shells it. Laura Delaney was already coming back for the second. Francisca Chipare, she got in a good position, but sometimes it just goes through a team, doesn't it? It feels like nothing's going to stick for Zimbabwe at the moment, and Orla Prendergast will look to make her pay. This one clubbed down to the same fielder, Chipare. She does well, good pick up, but Delaney will take on the field once more. I think if she'd let that go onto the stumps, that was out. It was an absolutely brilliant throw from Chipare. Maybe the call should have come. Leave it go. Delaney would have been gone for all money.
It's so well fielded by Chipare. Hasn't at all been distracted by the previous ball. Managed to pick up and throw, and that's a sign of a good fielder, someone that can put the ball behind them, previous ball behind them, and get on with things.
Good foot movement and straight to the fielder on the offside there, Nyasha. No, in fact, it's Runout Pasipanodia. She's been good in the field as well. The two of the players coming in, making a real difference in the field. Laura Delaney on strike. They did sneak through for the single. She dances down and just about gets it over the head with real power. Gets it over the head of the left arm spinner. And Clovu looks disappointed. She bowled it probably almost within 6 inches of exactly where she wanted to, but that tiny bit of length meant that Delaney managed to get the boundary.
And when Laura Delaney's using her feet, it is really hard to find a length that keeps her quiet. As is said, not a huge amount that Clovu did wrong there. Very well played there by Delaney.
Yeah, no fielders behind the bowler. So it's always a fruitful area if you can get it over the bowler's head. Good comeback they'll take. Oh dear, it was almost a rugby tackle between the two Ireland players there in the middle. Sneaked through for a single. Didn't fall kindly for Daruru behind the stump, so I thought she got out nice and quickly, but didn't manage to get there. A big thick edge, that'll fly away. Bit of extra pace from Clovu, and Orla Prendergast threw the hands at it. Almost 180 degrees from where she meant it to go. It's gone for a boundary to close out the innings.
And Clovu being clever there, trying to bowl the quicker ball, but unfortunately the faster they bowl, the faster they go.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what Ireland have ended up on. We'll get that to you as soon as we can, but it's definitely more than what they made yesterday. That was 176 for 4. They've got more than 10 off that over, so I think they're pushing 180. But Ireland's batting, as I said, different from yesterday, different contributors, and that will be the most pleasing thing for the new coach, Lloyd Tennant, and the pressure being put on by players coming in. So we've a little bit of a problem with our graphics. We will get those to you before too long. We'll have a couple of videos for you. 181 for 4 is the score, I'm being told. So they've beaten their score from yesterday by 5 runs, and no Gabby Lewis runs in there either, which, as I said, very pleasing for Lloyd Tennant. We have a couple of special guests coming up for you very shortly, so don't go anywhere, and we'll have the run chase from Zimbabwe after that as well.
I like trying new sports. I like smashing the ball. We got a t-shirt, a bag, a bat and a ball. It's really, really fun to play with your friends, have fun, and also get to learn new things. Smash it!
Seconds, degrees, millimeters. The smallest margin can make the biggest difference. At CERTA, we're committed to finding every efficiency, every edge to deliver cleaner, greener energy. That's why we're proud to support Ireland's women's cricket team as they continue to push the boundaries, and why we're committed to nurturing the next generation of talent, helping them to find their edge. CERTA. Find your edge.
Wicket. It's cricket for girls aged 12 to 15. It's Wicket. Try out batting, bowling and scoring runs. Try it out with your friends. You'll love it. It's Wicket. Find out more and register now.
Here we try. So we've a new thing happening in Irish cricket the last couple of years. The Roy Tarrans bell has been a great addition to international cricket here, honouring the great man Roy Tarrans. The bell is rung 5 minutes before play every single international game for the men's and the women's teams. And alongside me I have two sisters that, you know, you were there at the beginning nearly for Irish cricket. You got to ring the bell one day after each other. I believe you were special guests for each other, so you're making the most of the couple of days. We've got Lily on the right of the screen as you're looking, and Stella, both of you with 35 caps for Ireland, which I suppose, to put into context for our viewers, that's a lot of caps in the era that you played in.
Indeed it is. Like, you know, with the revival of cricket in the 80s and 90s, we didn't have as many internationals that we'd have now. So it spanned a number of years, about 10 years that we were, 10 to 12 years where we were playing together. And so that's why 35 didn't sound like, but it was a lot of...
Not compared to nowadays, and certainly. And we were, back in 1983, we were actually invited by the Netherlands to compete in an international, so we had to set up a union.
Yeah.
That's how early it was. So, and I had the great pleasure of bowling the first ball that Ireland ever bowled in an international. So
that's amazing. And what happened on the ball? Can you remember exactly what happened?
Not at all.
No. Okay.
Isabel,
we'll have to look back in the scorebook.
No.
But it was a very different game as well because it was 55 overs.
That's right. We went to when Australia came here in 1987, and we really understood what the standard was going to be like. And then we were invited to the World Cup in '88, and we were playing 60 overs. So I tell you, we had to be fit.
Yeah.
We certainly had to be fit, and with the heat, and it was a real great experience because we had a very talented team at the time, even though it was amateur.
Yeah.
But we really the standard. We saw with the English, the Indians, the Australians there, we had to lift our game.
Yeah.
So it was kind of the start in the 80s, and we kind of meant from the 90s then we got a little bit better.
Yeah.
So chasing leather for 60 overs in the Australian heat.
Well, I want to ask you about that because we see now with the girls out there, they're professional. Most of the players that are on the pitch are on full-time professional contracts. They have all these staff members running around. They've got all the gym memberships. When you were getting fit for that World Cup in '88 and you said you were already fit, it was a long game, it was hot. What were you doing to get fit?
Yeah, actually, we were quite lucky, fortunate. Maura O'Brien in Trinity was doing assessments of our training to see how we were doing. But personally, we were all working ourselves. And like I was running triathlons trying to get fit, but we didn't have the expertise in that field. So it was very tough to be fit as they are now.
And Stella, what was everyone that was playing in the team, what were they doing outside of cricket? What kind of training schedule did you have?
Oh, well, people were working.
Yeah, what kind of
working
and jobs
just different jobs, and we had very, very few students at the time as well. So everything you did in your own time, and you did your fitness training in your club, and we did have fitness coaches at certain stages. But I think the opportunities that are being provided to the players today is amazing, and particularly the youth cricket, because there was no youth cricket, no youth girls cricket when we were playing at all. So we were only playing for women, and we pioneered 20 overs cricket because we weren't allowed to play at the weekends primarily.
When you say not allowed, the clubs didn't give you any space.
Well, they didn't give us time.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
it has been transformed, and it's fantastic, the quality as well around.
I mean, our eras kind of, when I was playing, I think slightly crossed, but did you ever play in the era when there was trousers? It was all skirts.
We had a couple of people who wore trousers, but they weren't meant to. They were meant to. Unfortunately, Izzy's like the skirt. The skirt. Little arguments. I wish we were wearing shorts. It'd be even better than trousers at that time.
Don't bring up the shorts. GAA people around will be talking about
the opposition of the Netherlands and the Danish and the West Indies wore trousers.
Okay. Yeah.
And they used to laugh at us wearing skirts.
Well, I remember Australia coming here. I went to watch a series in... Was it 95 when they came here in skirts, and someone ripped open their leg because they were sliding around at that point. You couldn't be.
You get sunburnt.
The tan lines, because I remember we'd have our coach coming around and pulling up our socks. They had to be up to the knee.
Yeah.
What were we like?
I know. But we did try and fall around. We had a lot of
the ball. The tie pad only covered so much as well. So bruises.
That was good.
Visible bruises.
It was the start. I think it was the start. Like, we're trying to get better and better. Like, when I retired in '95. Stage left. I'd done everything. I thought I finished with the European Championships.
Yeah.
Mary Robinson. That was a really big deal. Ireland's call first time. So it was kind of. We knew then when you came on later. We were going to get better and better. But look, I'm really envious. I'd love to be Gabby Lewis out there, or Orla Prendergast batting like that and running around in trousers, because it's fantastic.
Yeah. And a little bit of trivia that you guys might not know. 1995, the European Championships was in Trinity. Who was walking around the boundary selling programmes to try and help fund? young Isabel and Cecilia Joyce.
Whoa,
we had to go around.
well done.
You guys had to sell ads, I think, in the programme.
we did.
And we were going around to the poor tourists who didn't know what game was being played and asked them, please, sir.
Yeah, they're all very nice.
But, look, that was
But
what we used to have to do.
The 1993 World Cup in England was a catalyst, really, because the final was in Lords and England won. And it was following that the kind of the ECB took control of it, and there was equality, and the women's game appeared on Sky Sports for the first time. So
wow! And you guys played in the first World Cup, because a lot of people don't know the Women's World Cup was before the men's.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think 1988, and actually I won't tell you how many teams were in it, but we did come fourth. So we'll have that stat for the guys.
You finished highest of an Irish team in a World Cup.
Yes.
I love that stat.
Yeah.
I suppose we'll finish soon, but from each of you, maybe you'll go first, Lily, but what do you think is the biggest thing that you noticed from when you finished playing to now? I'm putting you on the spot, the biggest difference.
Oh, there's no doubt the professionalism that they're showing, their training, their expertise, the standards that they set. They're empowering everybody to get better and better. I can see that, and that's what a real athlete is. These are athletes, and I think we should never forget that.
Yeah.
And it's just the joy that I can see playing. I really enjoyed the last. I watch a lot of cricket, but the standard here is going up and up. The fielding yesterday of the girls, the Irish team, was superb, and I think that's a real difference. So I was really pleased with that.
Really proud moment for you and for yourself, Sal.
Well, I'm involved in Clontarf. I'm back involved after a long time away, and so for me, the youth cricket and watching the youth cricket across Leinster, and also up north as well, and to see the pathways that are now available for those youth crickets come through the various different levels, and eventually hopefully to the Irish team as well. I think that's really really great to watch.
Look, that's been, I've absolutely loved listening to your thoughts. Thank you so much. That's Lily and Stella Owens, Elizabeth I should say, our two bell ringers from the last 2 days. We'll throw back to Celeste Rack and myself in just a minute's time as the second innings gets underway very shortly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. That was great.
Millimetres. The smallest margin can make the biggest difference. At CERTA, we're committed to finding every efficiency, every edge to deliver cleaner, greener energy. That's why we're proud to support Ireland's women's cricket team as they continue to push the boundaries, and why we're committed to nurturing the next generation of talent, helping them to find their edge. CERTA. Find your edge.
So it never stops today. Celeste, we're both doing a number of jobs. It's been really interesting listening to Stella and Lily Owens there. And, I mean, we know that the game has come a long way, but when you hear it from the mouths of two players like the Owens sisters from Clontarf, it really brings it home, doesn't it? How far, not just women's cricket, women's sport has come right across the world.
It sure does, and it's been great to get past players back, players from further back, like the Owens sisters, and players like Claire Shillington, Mary Waldron.
Yeah, Orla Prendergast, she retains the new ball. We're yet to find out who's going to bowl the second over. A short one straight away. Really well stopped by Christina Kulturati, who has an opportunity for a run out, all happening on the first delivery. It's Dururu who gets the opportunity to open, and Kellison Clovu is at the other end. She was the top scorer for Zimbabwe yesterday. Just 3 yesterday, Dururu, and on the first day as well. She had the gloves today though, so maybe that'll help change her fortunes. Mupachikwa moved down the order, so she's pretty much directly replaced the other keeper. They've just swapped roles, I think. Cara Murray in kind of a gully position there. And it goes straight to her.
In the game, as she was in the previous 2 games. Good point you made about Mupachikwa moving down. We saw that Orla Prendergast's length really did trouble her in the first 2 games. She's hard bowler to face when she's hitting that length, and Mupachik was not the tallest player either, so ball was really rising.
Dururu is not that much taller than her, but maybe they're just swapping their roles to see what could come off. That one not swinging really, so Delaney will have to come around and do some work. Keeps it 2-1. Always difficult, isn't it, coming back from the second when you've been on the back foot or when you played the sweep shot. And Clovu just not getting to the other end quickly enough to affect a 2. That Wasp not looking too bad at the moment for Zimbabwe. We've seen it be very low over the last 2 days, sitting at 22%. Yes, there's that sharp inward movement from an awkward length you were talking about, Celeste.
That is not the ball that you want to be facing as an opening batter with Orla Prendergast sending the ball down. And then the other danger is the ball that doesn't swing with that first slip firmly, or second slip firmly in there. Gabby Lewis, safe pair of hands there.
Away and a diving stop, despairing there from Sophie McMahon, and that'll find its way all the way to the boundary for the first of the day for Zimbabwe off the bat of Dururu.
Dururu's come back well from that previous ball that swung in a mile and has played positively there. No one out on the leg side there in front of square, so a lot of open space if she can get the ball through mid-wicket.
A good aggressive cricket. What comeback can Orla Prendergast produce? A full in-swinging delivery. Just sitting on the back foot a little bit, Dururu, which you can understand. She's bowled generally short. Orla Prendergast finishes with a dot. First over, done and dusted. Zimbabwe 6 without loss. So Ireland made 179 in their first innings for just 4 wickets. Gabby Lewis didn't get a bat, Leopold didn't get a bat either, or Sophie McMahon. So she's in the team, it would seem, as a bowler. Not given an opportunity with the bat. They could have sent her out instead of Orla Prendergast, who finished on 24 from just 9 deliveries. She was dropped in that innings, but it was entertaining. So Ava Canning into the team today, gets the second over. I always think she's such a good option against left-handers, isn't she? Because she swings the ball away, but the pace that she's at, they can't really use it to dab down to third. And with her extra height, it can be difficult to get on top of the bounce, even when she's quite full.
It's true. She's an unusual combination of things with the height, but also not a huge amount of pace on the ball, movement. She can be tricky to play.
2 straight on that occasion, down on one knee for Callison Clovu. We saw that on plenty of occasions yesterday. Brilliant work in the deep from Sophie McMahon. It's her first opportunity today, and she's trying to do everything she can to show her value.
She wasn't always the obvious boundary fielded choice either. So interesting to see her deep square today when there's only 2 out in the power play.
Yeah, good point. Definitely doesn't have the strongest throw, but I thought she got to the ball nice and quickly there, got to her feet. Yeah, and might be why Ava Canning has been brought into the team, because it's very unusual for her to get 2 straight like that. Like she did in the previous delivery. She's one of the only right armers you see who finds the right line against left-handers straight away. Jane Maguire was trying to swing the ball into the left-hander, but she was quite straight yesterday, got hit into the leg side a lot.
Ava Canning coming particularly wide of the crease today. And I'm not sure whether that's going to be just a left-hander strategy or whether she's going to bowl that wide of the crease to both right and left-handers.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm going to disagree with you actually, because it's really hard to see, I think, when you're playing against her. I've never noticed it playing against her, but on these streams you can see she's really, really wide. She has to, with the way she swings the ball in, with her action and with her action and with the arm as well. With the swing through the air, she gets both directional swing and swing through the air.
So from your experience, that would be her typical release point,
yeah.
Which, as the viewers will see, if you're looking for it, this ball is considerably wider than what a lot of other bowlers would be.
Especially against a left-hander bowling over the wicket. It's a heave over mid-on. Rebecca Stokel, one of the tallest fielders on the ground, just gives it a little jump but doesn't make an effort, because that was going for 4 all the way. In Clovu in on the act.
And that's well played from Niklovu. It's in her arc there, a little too wide, allowing the left-hander to free her arms and hit that straight over mid-on.
James Cameron Dow doing the work there. His hands full with his tee. Does a little bit of work for Rebecca Stokel. So the second over gone. Disappointing for Canning to go for the boundary in the final ball, but goes for the same number as the first over did, which was 6. So after 2, they're 12 without loss. And they're all in now. Work time is finished. We talked about it yesterday that maybe there weren't as many supporters early on because they hadn't finished work yet, but they have now. Always good to see them dancing. Zimbabwe supporters have been so entertaining all week. Or the Prendergast continues. Another fielder in to mid-wicket based on the shots played so far by Dururu.
Gabby Lewis is never one to not go for the attacking option as a captain. She keeps things exciting. She's always looking to put a slip in, put someone a bit shorter in.
Yeah, she's taken herself out of slip and put herself into that kind of firing line in mid-wicket. Maybe she's looking for another sharp chance in there. Saw one yesterday. Dururu uses the feet, gives herself room and latches onto one. Doesn't get maybe the contact she would want, but good attacking options. Rebecca Stokel gives chase. But from an Ireland point of view, seeing Zimbabwe take the game on, would they be happy to see that, because maybe it opens up wicket-taking opportunities?
Certainly, I think that's what they want. They want to see Zimbabwe really take it to them and see how they respond under pressure.
A little bit of shape away this time from Orla Prendergast. Usually swings it in, but a little bit of movement away. Amy Hunter with the gloves on today. She got the record for most dismissals for Ireland in a T20 yesterday when she took 3 catches and took a stumping as well.
She'll be delighted to see both Cara Murray and Leah Paul bowling well. Keeps her in the game.
Definitely a leg side dominant player. And Clovu gets it between square and mid-wicket once more for a couple.
And there is a lot of positive intent out here from the Zimbabwean openers, looking for runs wherever they can get them.
No Lara McBride in the team for Ireland today, so we won't be seeing 10 overs of spin. Soph McMahon and Ava Canning coming in to the 11 to bowl. Christina Coulter-Riley was the other to come in. I think she got 1 and unfortunately was out soon after. So the good news for Zimbabwe is that they haven't lost a wicket yet. The other games they've tended to lose a wicket early. Big heave from Dururu, looking to always take the attacking option. Doesn't manage to make contact on that occasion. 5 from that Prendergast over, and after 3, Zimbabwe 17 without loss.
As you mentioned, no Lara McBride, which means no Lara McBride in the power play. Will be interesting to see what Gabby Lewis does, in which bowlers she chooses to come on.
Yeah, well, we'll have Ava Canning now. She's got options like Laura Delaney, who she can turn to. This is a chance. Stokel settles underneath it, catch taken. Comfortable catch, but you always have to hold on. And Ava Canning, she's so good against the left-handers. Something to keep in mind for the Ireland selectors. And Clovu, top scorer yesterday, goes for just 9 from 11 deliveries, 1-4 in the innings. And Zimbabwe lose their first. It's 17 for 1.
Ava Canning, as is mentioned, great line there to the left-handers. She's got a top edge there trying to go across. And well caught in the end from Rebecca Stokel. You would back her to take that catch any day, but you never know. Sometimes they're the hardest ones.
Well, I do think that it can be a disease, dropping catches, and unfortunately for Zimbabwe, as I said to their captain yesterday, they're creating opportunities, which is the good point, but not managing to take too many of them. So Ireland, sometimes you're watching the other team do it, you got to make sure you don't fall for this in the same trap. Beloved Biza, who's been really good with the ball, comes out at number 3. The youngster, 16 years old, belying her years with her wily off spin. And she's been entertaining when she's been out in the middle, but just not been out there long enough in the last couple of games. 11 from 9 and 7 from 7 in the last 2 games. She's up against Ava Canning, a bit of an unknown quantity. Big booming in swinger to the right-hander. "33 matches. This is her 34th, Ava Canning. Just 16 wickets, make it 17 now today. But her economy is so good, 5.25. And considering she bowls nearly always in the power play, that's ultra impressive, isn't it?
It is. She bowled a ball that nearly went viral in her first series against Scotland. Bowled a big in-swinger that looked like it was going to go off the cut strip and came back really late and bowled Scotland's opening batter. And since then, everyone's been aware of what she can do and how useful her big in-swingers can be.
It's definitely the type of bowling that you can't understand how difficult it is to face until you come up against her. So tall. Nice looking shot, but not the power required to find the gap. So from McMahon in the action once more. It's uncomfortable, isn't it, when you're fielding on that ring and the artificial's just in front of you there.
Something that a lot of overseas pros aren't used to in Ireland. A lot of our pitches do have a synthetic strip in them.
Yeah, that one will go down leg. Good work from Amy Hunter, who's used to keeping to Ava Canning. So in Australia, they just don't have a synthetic on the field at all?
They wouldn't, but then the disadvantage is that as a young player coming through, you'd never play on the number 1 ground. So children here at Pembroke are so lucky to get to play on the same ground as the Irish international women's team and the men's first. So there's definitely a lot to be said for getting to play on the best grounds.
On the inside edge, that could have gone anywhere. Leah Paul has to come around and do some work, but it'll just be a single. So a really good over so far from Canning. She did bowl the 1 wide. You always keep a beady eye on that final delivery when there's been a wide and see how costly the extra ball will be. 2 fielders in the deep on the leg side, a kind of a squarish mid-wicket and a square fine leg as well. Dururu very strong on the leg side, but that's well outside off. And a good second over from Ava Canning. The wicket on the first ball after 4, 19 for 1 Zimbabwe. So Sophie McMahon will be given the opportunity to bowl in the power play. As I said, we didn't see her with bat in hand. She would consider herself an all-rounder, but perhaps Lloyd Tennant doesn't see her in an all-rounder role in this team. Medium pace that just stands the seam up and can get it to nip off that seam. Generally relies on a good length. No real tearaway pace from her. Square leg and third out. Amy Hunter up to the stumps. Short and wide to start off with. A little bit of a nervous start from Sophie McMahon. She's suffered a lot of injuries, hasn't she, in the last couple of years, so she'll be desperate to try and put in a performance today.
She has. She's been unlucky in that she'd get herself into the first 11 and then something would happen and she'd be out of it, and she's always kind of had to fight her way back in. She is a real gritty player. She really is quite resourceful out there.
Yeah, just a little bit of movement in. They're going to take on the fielder, Louise Little, nicely placed from Dururu, or from Biza, I should say. Yeah, how difficult is it for someone like Sophie McMahon, who's been in the starting 11? She had her spot, and then to watch for over a long period of time as other people put in performances and maybe put themselves ahead of you in the queue to get in the 11.
It is really tough. It sure is. And then getting an opportunity today for her is brilliant. But then it does put quite a bit of pressure on in situations like this where you've watched for the first 2 games, you've really wanted to be out there, and then now you're throwing the ball in the power play.
Yeah, space on the leg side, just too short from Sophie McMahon. You can't bowl there to Dururu. Loves playing on the back foot. And McMahon just struggling a little bit in her first over in this series.
And Dururu has played this really well. It's back of a length, given a little bit too much width, and in the power play, you're very limited in which areas of the ground you can protect. So length has to be so much tighter.
Square leg is the fielder out on the leg side, and Gabby Lewis just checking with Sophie McMahon if she can put someone else out on the leg side. Yeah, Eva Canning coming out of 45. She's going to go into a backward square, and the player who had been there, Christina Coulter-Riley, goes into more of a mid-wicket on the boundary. Does look like the area that Dururu favours. Short, and will this garner a wicket? So Stokel once more in the action. Not the greatest delivery, but Stokel does well backtracking. Dururu may be surprised by a little bit of extra bounce from McMahon, and after she's just hit her for a boundary, she tries to repeat the dose and loses her wicket. Dururu goes for 12 from 11 deliveries, 2 boundaries in it, and while she was there, Zimbabwe will have felt they had a chance of chasing it down, but she's back in the hutch. 26 for 2 Zimbabwe.
I do feel like that field change that Isabel Joyce mentioned there may have contributed to where she tried to put that ball. It was a little short and a little wide, and as we saw from the ball before, she does favour the leg side, but this was a lot wider than the previous one. She has directed it a little too straight. Stokel's taken the catch once again.
Yeah, great tackers from her, isn't it? Because she got her hands up so early. She's backtracking, but the hands were in position. So often you see people running like that. They're using their arms to help them run. But she got the hands up nice and early, gave herself every opportunity to track it into the hands. Chipo Mugeri Tirapano, the captain, another left-hander out in the middle for Zimbabwe. And she has a big role to play because Dururu looked exciting, and Ndlovu got the top score yesterday, but Tirapano top scored in the first game. So a lot lies with her if they're going to chase down 180 for victory here to try and get a victory in the series. Ireland, of course, 2-0 up already. A little bit too straight, but goes straight to the fielder in 45.
McMahon, feel like she got away with that one a little bit. But following the wicket, change of batter here, it's gonna give her a bit of confidence to finish the over well.
Yeah, she's got a bit of a change in angle in her run-up, isn't she? Coming from quite wide, and I don't think that's much better finish from McMahon there. It's not. That's a newish thing, isn't it? I haven't seen that before from McMahon.
Neither have I. No, I would say that appears to be new.
That's a Lloyd Tennant-ism.
It is. We've seen quite a few changes from Lloyd Tennant with the bowlers so far, which is exciting to see. Bowlers try a few new things. I feel like it's really helped Cara Murray from what we can see so far.
Yeah, we didn't get to talk about Cara Murray in the pre-show. Things were a little bit ahead of schedule. Oh, a nice shape there, away from the left-hander from Sophie McMahon. So a much more assured finish to the over from Canning. She did get the wicket in it, and a smile on her face as she's successful on her return to the playing 11. No Lara McBride, as you said, in the 11, so it's going to be Ava Canning to continue from the Willfield Road end. She'll bowl at least 3 of her possible allotment of 4 inside the power play. .26 for 2 after 5. Lovely stuff from Canning. That's just knocked on the head by beloved Biza, who gets down the other end. I don't think that was quite where she was meaning it to go.
Effective all the same. And now Terrapano is facing, as is described before, the good weapon to the left-hander, Ava Canning. She's been tidy so far.
Ryan, the wicket to the left-hander, just angling it in. Not much shape there from Canning. Sophie McMahon once more in the action. Sometimes as a fielder, you don't get any of the ball, and then another game, it always seems to find you. Sophie McMahon's having one of those days.
She definitely is. She's a magnet at the moment, and she's moving quick out there. She's looking really quick in the field.
Yeah.
It's what you want when you've just come into the side. Ball to follow you around, getting lots of opportunity.
Nicely angled in from Canning. Who you want to follow you around as long as you're having a good day in the field.
That's it. As soon as you miss field or drop one, nope.
Yeah, you don't want it to come near you.
Nope.
Full outside off, and I think Tirapano sensed an opportunity, doesn't manage to catch up with it. Slow going for the Zimbabwe captain, and it's amazing, just 1 wicket and the Wasp goes down to 6%.
It really does change the game. And we saw it change the run rate significantly in Ireland's innings as well. Despite the fact they were able to rescue it and bring it back.
Three dots now for Ava Canning. Just looking to close out the power play without much incident. They'd love another wicket, Ireland. Took all 10 wickets. First time they've taken all 10 in a T20 against Zimbabwe yesterday. Beautiful. 2 full. Finally latches on to one, does Spiwe Tirapano. A shot of real elegance. Only a left-hander can make it look quite that good. And the power play closes out with probably the shot of the day.
And this is so well played by Tirapano. Such fast hands. Given the width and the length she wanted, and really got the hands through.
So that's the power play over for both teams, but Zimbabwe 33 for 2, their captain in and finally getting going. My thanks to Celeste Rack for now. A little bit of an opportunity for her to have a well-earned break and maybe some food on board as well. You never know. Delighted though we've got another special guest. We had Claire Shillington on in the first innings. Now joined by Mary Waldron. Now, Mary, I'm going to just check what you know about your own stats here, so if you might mind continuing. It says 144 caps on Cricinfo. That's not correct. Sure, it's not, because that's a full toss. That's help leg side, and that will be for Christina Coulter-Riley, not able to effect a miracle stop. Great shot that from beloved Biza, who helps herself to a poor delivery, truth be told.
It was helped nicely to the boundary there, unfortunately for Sophie.
Oh, an awkward one for Coulter-Riley in the deep. No, so 144 caps is what Cricinfo says, but we know that's not right, because there's all the games they don't count. So do you know what the final tally was when you retired a couple of years ago?
It was 180 something. I'm not going to lie, I don't remember the exact, but I remember...
we go with 189. Let's elevate it as high as we can.
My only thing when I became the highest capped was that it was one more than Schiller's. So I was happy with whatever that number was.
Well, I mean, I heard Celeste earlier saying that Schiller's made 140 something caps, and I thought, no, that's not right either. But to the world at large, it's about T20s and ODIs. And that one just moving away ever so slightly for Sophie McMahon. So it's 88 T20s and 56 ODIs. I'd wager that for Claire earlier, that's probably maybe somewhat the other way around,
reverse,
because of when she played. Started in 97. Your record at the moment is 67 catches and 44 stumpings. Pleased with that across the ones that count in these stats anyway?
The ones that count. I mean, Izzy, you saw me from day one to the last day, and I'm very happy with that. Yes. But then he went in the clubs, I was happy.
From playing in trainers to finishing with that many dismissals, you must be absolutely over the moon. And of course, you, as compared to Claire, who finished in 2018, you got to be part of the professionalism of Irish cricket. One of the first players to get a contract chance for Prendergast. Good run, though, in the end from Tirapano. But, you kind of were one of the few players who was there before any professionalism, and then was there when the team became fully professional.
Yeah, absolutely. I was, I count myself very fortunate to be part of that. And just looking at Amy today and the tweaks she's made in her technique as a keeper, and I can see that that's just from professionalism, like some of the takes, even in the warm-up on a greasy surface there, and they're going in cleanly. And there was a take earlier there where she had a great swivel of the hips, and I'm just like, this is, you don't take for granted that we're now professional.
Yeah, well, I mean, for those of us who know nothing about keeping, myself included, what kinds of things are you talking about? What's she able to?
I guess it's just repetition and having the time. In the day to actually just do that repetition of training. But one thing, she moved her hips to give herself access to one of the wider ones from Ava in the first over. And it's a really difficult take, and she made it look easy. But that's something that, when I retired 2 years ago, that she wasn't doing. She was still at a brilliant level, but, that doesn't come by accident. And it's come by having access to the time and the coaching to do that, which is great. And obviously her own dedication and skill as well.
That's so interesting. And another player who you know very well, Cara Murray. I'm sure over the last couple of days you've been pleased to see her re-emergence in a way. She's had to work very hard, but seems to have found a really good rhythm. As I say that, she bowls a short one down leg side, but by and large she's had good rhythm and has taken 3 wickets in the 2 games in the series so far. And you put that down to a similar type of thing?
Yeah, I think so. I think Cara's been on a probably slightly different journey to Amy behind the stumps, but I think for her she's just shown a lot of great determination to keep going, not being in the side. And Gabby's brought her on at a good time, and she's obviously has that belief in herself and has worked hard, off the field to get to that spot. But I'm happy to see her in a little bit earlier in the innings at the minute.
It seemed to be exclusively second half of the innings bowling for Cara Murray, but she's earned the right to come on a little bit earlier. But of course, Lara McBride not in the team today, so she's generally been the first spinner to be brought into the attack. But what about life in Australia? You're over at home for a little visit as that one just manages to get through the field. Rebecca Stokel putting in good yards, but just making a little bit of a meal of it in the end. She'll be frustrated. She got in great position to cut that off. And just, I'm not sure if the ball caught in her hand or what happened. We'll get to see the replay now.
Looks like it just slid away from her there in the end. She made good ground, in fairness. She's quick across the ground. She gets to it. Let's have a look.
Oh.
Just misses it at the crucial moment, shall we say.
Yeah, vital moment there when you actually get to the ball. So from McMahon, and it just to stop a spinning ball there and point. Just a couple of sloppy points from Ireland, but they've by and large been the better fielding team of the two. But you're in Australia now full time. Cricket in the rear view mirror a little bit.
Just a touch, yeah. I mean, in the rear view mirror, but here I am home on holidays and at the cricket. Not my first occasion either on this trip. So, it's definitely just trying to build a bit of a normal life and, that kind of 9 to 5 routine that you don't have as an athlete. So, really, really enjoying Australian life. It's a bit cold at the minute, so came home to Ireland for a bit of sunshine. So
you got a good bit of it, to be fair. The first half of your trip could do with a little bit more now. Cara Murray just not quite finding the rhythm we saw in the first 2 games. That's a good delivery, but well dealt with by beloved Biza, who's an exciting talent for Zimbabwe. You've played Zimbabwe a good bit, Mary, but a different looking team out there at the moment.
Yeah, it is a different looking team, and it's hard to know the reasons why it's a different looking team. They're missing a few of their older heads who just happen to be probably more aggressive batters as well, and who would have scored a lot of runs for the team over the years. But it's no harm people getting in, time in the middle in games like these. You want to go out and win, but they'll take so much from these games. Ireland are, clearly the better side at the minute, so it's no different to us at stages playing better teams, and you learn more from those games than playing those ranked below you. So, but yeah, I mean, you're always pushing for that intent to go up and be busy, no matter how good or bad you are as a player. It's that intent at the crease that you're really looking for, and I think that can definitely be upped.
I think actually today we've probably seen easily the most intent, haven't we, from Zimbabwe. They still find themselves in a bit of a spot because they're below 6 in terms of run rate, and they require more than 11. But I suppose if you were talking to Zimbabwe, they were talking about they're going into the Women's Championship next year. Ireland only entered it the last cycle, and there was a big difference between the team at the beginning of that cycle against South Africa right here in Pembroke, albeit in the T20s you did get a win, a historic win, but by the end of that cycle, as they sneak another one, by the end of that cycle there was a win against England, 2 wins against Sri Lanka. So if you're talking to Zimbabwe, how do they chart a similar course?
I think they just actually the domestic scene in Zimbabwe is pretty. They play like 2-day cricket and stuff, so there's a lot of time in the middle for the batters in terms of their base from where they're coming to the championship. I think obviously you just have to stick with the process. That's something obviously we speak a lot about as athletes, sticking with the process, but that's no different to a team as well. There will be defeats, like Zimbabwe against India. It's going to be one-sided. There's no two ways about that. But just sticking with the process and the reflection after each game, and not just letting a loss go by without taking the learnings from it. And you'd hope that the structure in place in Zimbabwe cricket is there for the women's team as well. Like, we've been backed so well here, and anything that we've needed, we've got that sports psychology. We obviously have the full-time coaches now around the team as well. So you would hope that something similar is in place for Zimbabwe. I mean, they have the funding, being a test nation for so long, they have the funding there. So
yeah, good point. And they've been professional for a while, haven't they? But it's just whether the actual support around them is what's required for that series. We'll soon find out, I guess. That's kicking off next year, and exciting to see how Ireland will go. Laura Delaney has come on and I think started pretty well. That was close to being another wicket to her tally. She's found the right length, hasn't she, Laura, where there was a few months there where it felt like she was maybe not the most confident with her bowling, but in this series she's looked a lot more assured.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think by Dell's standard, you say absolutely, yeah, it hasn't been, and she's been working her way back into form. She is unbelievable grit, and I know Lloyd coming in is also a bowling coach as well. You know, give her that support and guidance through the tougher times. But it's a great series to kind of get back on track, and obviously with the run rate as it is, there's not that same pressure. But I was thinking before the game about, you know, the last time she bowled against Zimbabwe before this series was in the previous qualifiers, and she bowled the last over to qualifiers. So, you know, she's more than used to bowling under pressure and bowling in good areas. But I still think she's got a ways to go by her own standards, absolutely. What she and I would expect from her for sure. But you know, it's great to see her bowling in good areas, especially to the left-hander.
Well, it's always going to happen. When you talk about someone bowling well, they bowl a wide just to make a liar of you. But even that wide, in comparison to what we would have seen in the last 6 months, it was a good length and just slightly angled wrong as opposed to a fully poor delivery.
Absolutely. I was more going to go. That was a great take from the keeper. Yeah. Great footwork.
Keeper's union, huh? Absolutely. And well out from Amy Hunter as well to keep that to a dot. So Laura Delaney's first over goes by without much incident. 6 runs from it after 9. Zimbabwe 53 for 2, and they have a long way to go. 180 required. It's looking, unless something drastic happens, it's looking like a 3-0 victory for Ireland. And I suppose when you think of bilateral series you've played in the past, Mary, when generally Ireland at home, you're the underdogs because ranked 9 or 10 in the world, and you're playing against full member nations. They're usually ahead of Ireland. When you look at the way Ireland have progressed through this series, is it somewhat like what you would have seen from, say, an Australia or a New Zealand playing against Ireland, where they kind of improve game on game and it gets more and more difficult for the underdog as the games go by?
I think it's a very different prospect. It's for me just to compare those two. I feel like it wasn't too long ago that Zimbabwe beat us in an ODI as well. I know they're different formats, but in terms of, I'd actually need to go back a bit further and go back to when Ireland used to beat Pakistan in series easily, and then Pakistan became professional and, you know, jumped us considerably. To us then going and beating them in a T20 series in Pakistan, which was, you know, probably one of the highlights of my career. So I mean, it's a hard question to answer, but I think, you know, the way the game is progressing, these series should get closer and closer every time they come across. And likewise as when we go to Zimbabwe, which actually it's very good. They've got a good relationship in terms of those series. It's good level of cricket for both teams, which is great.
Opening the shoulders, beloved Biza. It's the sweep shot out. Cara Murray not enjoying the success of the first 2 T20 internationals, being put under a little bit of pressure by the 16-year-old. No one out there, and it's just one bounce and over the rope. Doesn't quite have the legs to go for 6. Good comeback from Murray, just adjusts her length ever so slightly.
It's a great shot for 6. I would like to see that, and I love to see the bowlers put under pressure. And I like winning bilateral series, but you know, you're always prepping for something, and the qualifier is on the horizon.
Yeah, qualifiers. That's a great take by Orla Prendergast. Cara Murray, what I was saying, she wasn't having the success she does on this occasion, just finishes off the over with the wicket of beloved Biza. And we talk about comeback and being put under pressure. Cara Murray put under pressure by the 16-year-old there, who looked to go over the infield. Prendergast sticks a hand out and manages to hold on. Biza goes for 25 from 24, 2 4s and that 1 6 in it, and an exciting innings comes to an end.
Absolutely, she showed real intent in her innings, which is great. And only 16 as well. I'm sure she's a great prospect for the team. She sticks with that intent. I'd say Lloyd is also happy to see the bowler's put under pressure rather than face 6 dots and over. So his first series in charge, I'm sure he's very, very pleased with that over. Hit for 6, good comeback and a wicket to finish.
Yeah, absolutely. I said it didn't have the legs in it, and it absolutely did. Must keep my eyes on the umpire a little bit more clearly. Half of the overs in reply are gone now. We've been having a bit of trouble with the scorers, Mary. I don't know if you've noticed, but we'll get the score back, no doubt. It's quite often to do with who is out and maybe the wrong person being sent out, but it's in and around 62. Yeah, 62 for 3.
Team 3, I won't have anything said about the scorers. Game can't happen without them.
No, yeah, I just we need them desperately. Is that the score at the bottom of the screen to just try and make it sound like we know what we're talking about. That was a good partnership, though.
That's it. I will defend. I'd say it's probably a technological issue as opposed to human.
Runyararo Pasipanodia. Say that 3 times fast, Mary.
I will decline, but thank you.
Another left-hander in at number 5 into the team today. A little bit of a spill for her, but she will get through to get off the mark. First attempt.
Absolutely, and some good intent as well from the first ball there.
Well, it looks like both squads have, they've both brought 3 players in today, and both squads have those players coming in and trying to put real pressure on the players who were judged to be the best in the first 2 games. So that's always good to see, isn't it? And you've mentioned Lloyd Tennant before and what will please him, but it's going to be a different prospect when Pakistan come. Not as tidy behind. That's a difficult one for Amy Hunter to deal with. Right up at the block hole, a wide down leg side, never what you want as a wicketkeeper or as a bowler.
No, you feel a little bit helpless, but it's difficult all the same, and no doubt it's not much bounce coming through at this stage of the day as well.
Really shot through. I think that hit a foot mark. One of the worn areas. It's been well worn, this pitch, the last few weeks.
Absolutely, there's been plenty of cricket, plenty of good weather to keep the cricket coming, which is even better.
But for Lloyd Tennant, a different prospect coming up. They obviously have the ODIs first, so that'll be the first focus. Good comeback from Delaney. Chance here for Leah Paul, and that's a terrible piece of running from the new batter out. Pasipanodia felt she could have got off the mark there with a little dab, but she picked the left-hander, Leah Paul, who made no mistake. Quick release and good work from Amy Hunter as well. An easy run out in the end. The running hasn't been great. Zimbabwe, they've suffered a few of those over the course of the series, something that they need to maybe work on ahead of the one-day internationals. So into the team, and doesn't get a score today. This is why.
That's it. It's always the issue when you're new into the team and you perhaps haven't batted that much of the person at the other end, and just the communication. Sometimes it's non-verbal, but the communication needs to be there. You can see with the Irish order chopping and changing a little today, but a lot of those girls have batted together a lot over the last few years, even in domestic cricket as well. So there wasn't too much of an issue in our innings, but hopefully they can shore it up here a little bit, Zimbabwe, and get back towards that run rate.
Well, someone who will help them do that is Modesta Mupachikwa. Usually we see her opening the batting, the diminutive keeper for Zimbabwe. She didn't keep today. Thought she fielded well, actually. But Modesta Mupachikwa in at number 6. A bit of an unfamiliar place for her.
That's it. It's a different place when the fielders spread when you come in.
Well, I suppose... correct me if I'm wrong. Have you batted in international cricket in every batting position?
I actually think I have.
Yeah, we need to.
Yeah, I definitely batted 11. Yeah. Definitely.
You've definitely batted in, if not every position, nearly everyone.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe 9 or something like that.
I was going to say perhaps not 4, but I probably have.
Yeah. So how difficult is it? I mean, there's no one better qualified to answer this question. That's a little bit short from Laura Delaney. How difficult is it to change your mindset, change positions in batting?
To be honest, it got more difficult the more I felt like I was a batter. The more you kind of have your plan set, and then all of a sudden you're you're promoted or demoted, and you're like, well, I had my plans. At the start, I didn't really, have clear plans or really understand what was going on, in fairness, as you were witness to.
I think I've got to give context in case anyone, I'm sure everyone knows who you are, Mary, but in case anyone doesn't know your journey, well, that's a big wide down the leg side. Hunter manages to cut this one off. But you took up cricket at age?
I think I was 21.
21, yeah. I thought I was going to go with 20, but we'll take 21. You were a footballer before that, played international football for Ireland, or I should say soccer. In Ireland. Yeah. We're in Ireland, so soccer. And then made the move to cricket, where you were a keeper and kind of hit some handy runs down the order. That's a strong shot from Tirapano. Really good work in the deep from Lulu Little, helped out as well by Cara Murray. And then you made your debut. How long did it take you after taking up the sport to get your debut?
I think it was 5 years, but it was I only started keeping in my mid-20s. So that was, I would say I played maybe 10 games of cricket in total at that stage, or maybe 5 as a wicketkeeper. It was just kind of right place, right time sort of situation.
And the work ethic. You knew how to work hard, having played international sport before. And how long was it after your debut that you got your first set of spikes?
Yes, this is a true story, unfortunately. I actually don't know, but it was definitely not before my debut, which I probably shouldn't be speaking to you right now. You should have at least told me to go and buy some spikes.
I don't think I was paying enough attention to things around me. Leah Paul into the attack. Great to see her back bowling after a bit of time off. 2 overs for her yesterday, but a couple of wickets added to the tally. How pleased are you to see her back bowling?
I actually, I was thinking that earlier as you were saying, it's great to see Cara back in. I think it's most pleasing to see Paulie back bowling and bowling really well. And, having the trust of the captain as well to give her a few overs, which is really nice. But she's such a good energy around the team. Having her, be able to bat anywhere in the order, speaking of batting up and down the order, and then having her, her left arm, that's just like gold dust, really. It's a real luxury to have that kind of all-rounder in the team, as well as the other all-rounders that we have. So, it is great to see her.
I suppose it's like Laura Delaney, where she'd be in for her batting anyway, so any extra overs are a real bonus. But left arm spin seems to be the thing in women's and men's T20 cricket.
Yeah, but it's just so good for a matchup. You can't just be Bo Webster and be bowling seam and then turn to spin. You can't just bowl left arm. It's it's absolutely brilliant. I'm sure Gabby is very happy to see her back bowling as well.
I might tempt Gabby back out of the wilderness with ball in hand. I'm not sure we'll see her bowling again.
I would love to see her, but I'm very happy with what she has on her plate currently.
Yeah,
I don't think there's anything that we need to.
That's going to be a no ball. Yeah, well, we were just talking about the comeback from Leah Paul, and maybe just a few nerves around the ball just sticking in the hand ever so slightly. That's a no ball for bouncing off the cut strip. Modesta Mupachikwa gets the opportunity to try and kickstart her innings with a free hit now. That'll be another one, unfortunately, slightly wide down leg side. It's a funny game, cricket, isn't it? Because all eyes are on you when things aren't going the way you plan. There's no hiding for Leah Paul. It's a good comeback. Yeah, a really good comeback. That's exactly where she would have wanted to bowl it.
Absolutely. I know I mentioned it earlier, but you keep sticking to the process no matter what happening down the other end, especially in moments like that. That's where it's key. We play enough of cricket in our head. We just need to control those thoughts, and she's done that brilliantly there.
I feel like I'm getting some... that's a chance as well. I have to put the dive in. Spiwe Tirapano. And if Orla Prendergast had hit like we know she can, that would have been the captain gone. I'm not sure the risk was worth it, but she manages to get home.
I think that was good placement from Gabby's specialist 45 fielder there for that shot. She's done her homework.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great to see Orla get down. Like, she's such an athlete. She's great to watch.
Another drag down from Paul, but no real damage done as the long on fielder comes around and tidies that up. So Leopold's first over, eventful, but just goes for 6, and after 12, Zimbabwe 79 for 4. My thanks to Mary Waldron. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been great to hear your thoughts. I feel like I've been there with some of the sports psychologists you managed to work with, and we'll have you again soon.
Thanks, Izzy. It was great to chat.
So with that, so that's Mary Waldron, former Ireland captain, keeper, opening batter, every position. And if you are looking for a little bit of off spin, you can look her up as well. But it's back into the commentary position for Celeste Strack. I hope you're listening in to some of that. She's always an entertainer, isn't she?
Oh, she's great, except for when she's bowling off spin to you in club cricket. She is my worst nightmare bowler to face.
Yeah, she's more effective than you think. Louise Little gets her first bowl of the series. Decent start, just a little bit too straight. And another player who started as a bowler but is more considered a batter. But I think for players like Louise Little, do you ever stop being bowler first?
It's a hard one, and I feel similar to Sophie McMahon. Both of them are really keen to take every opportunity and will be whatever the team needs them to be, and work at whatever they need to do to get themselves back into the 11.
A little bit short, which is something that Mubachiko will enjoy. Well, let's talk about that competition within the Ireland team, and it's similar with Zimbabwe as well. A few players coming in, and Sibanda in particular, I thought she was really good with the ball today, but players coming in and putting pressure on the incumbents. You can see them in the background there, Lara McBride, Jane Maguire and Arlene Kelly on the Ireland side. How important is that for a healthy team to have the players that haven't had as many opportunities coming in, putting pressure on? But then how do you manage that as a group? Because then, you're all vying for the same places.
It's great, and with the depth increasing and contracts coming in and everything, I think Ireland in particular are going to see it more, as will Zimbabwe with the change that's about to come to them as well. But it just makes everyone have to work that little bit harder to retain their spot. And you can even see when we talk about the off-spinners with Lara McBride making her debut the previous 2 matches, and then Freya Sargent there sitting on the sideline. She was a bit of a revelation the season before, but she's going to have to work hard to get back into the squad, as is Lara McBride, to retain that spot. So it's good. It's healthy for the squad.
Yeah, it's such a tough one for cricket in particular, isn't it? Because there's no substitutions. It's the 11 you pick are the ones that get to do everything. You can't take someone off and bring someone else in. 2 straight again from Louise Little. Cara Murray does well, puts in an extra step, manages to cut it off and keep it to 2.
It creates a unique pressure on performing when you do get a chance as well. If you're playing football, soccer, you could get subbed on and off. Moments don't seem to matter as much, whereas it feels like every ball could be like taking a penalty in cricket when you finally get your opportunity.
Oh, that's a leading edge that doesn't manage to fly all the way to Laura Delaney, but a little bit of a surprise to see Tirapano advance, considering the line that Lulu Little's been bowling so far.
Yeah, and she's looking fairly solid at 22-24 again, but once again, it's that runner ball or thereabouts, which is a lot less than her team need if they're going to get themselves over the line today.
Yeah, they do need a couple of hitters in the lineup. Marianne Masonda not in this team. She would generally be the biggest hitter we would know from Zimbabwe. Good movement from Rebecca Stokel. I think she's come back very strongly. She didn't have her most optimal day in the first game of the series, but she's taken 2 catches and fielded very well today. After 13, Zimbabwe 86 for 4.
It is good to see Leah Paul getting another over here as she takes the 14th over from the Wheelfield Road end. A couple of balls in there that looked like she wasn't happy with potentially her action, but it's the time to really get a chance to practice out there.
Much better front arm on that occasion, but a good-looking shot from Mupachikwa, who's putting McMahon under pressure, and she doesn't manage to get there. Good power from the right-hander, who's trying to show that maybe she should have been left at the top of the order.
And she will feel she has something to prove as well, which is shown here. And again, as we were talking about the Irish players, it's potentially a chance for Mupachikwa to show that she can play a middle order role for Zimbabwe as well.
Yep. And maybe they decide that this is the best spot for her. Full and dabbed for one. Good work from Christina Coulter-Riley. No one in third because Leah Paul is probably the slowest bowler in this Ireland lineup, especially with Lara McBride out of the team. And Cara Murray, once more not bowling when you're on Celeste, which is a frustration to me, but nice delivery from...
Talk about Cara Murray and leg spin all day.
Yeah, so what do you think? I mean, you haven't seen that much of her in the last, say, year before this series. Not year, the last 6 months before this series. What do you see as a change in her bowling that maybe is contributing to greater success in this series?
I feel that she's got a bit more energy through the crease at her release point. What we tend to see is when leg spinners aren't particularly happy with how the ball's coming out, tend to stop at the crease or don't approach with as much energy. And you can see these first two games especially. Cara Murray's really hit the crease hard. It shows positivity. And that's perhaps something that has been worked on with new coach Lloyd Tennant. But the other thing I always think with leg spin is it's good not to read too much into into 2 games being really successful, 1 game getting hit a bit more. You are naturally going to have ups and downs as a leg spinner.
Just 2 leg side from Leah Paul helped in its way. A disappointing way for her to end the over. Boundaries bookending it. And Mupachikwa cashing in when the line hasn't quite been there from Leah Paul. 10 from the over.
And unfortunately for Leah Paul, she has just finished the over a little too straight, just straying with her line there. And Mupachikwa is very strong on the sweep there when given that line. But yeah, she's looking great, Cara Murray, and it'd be great to see her continue to approach the crease with a lot of confidence and feel really good this season.
Louise Little will get a second over from the St. John's End. It's a little bit of rain around. It's looking a bit misty here in Pembroke, but hopefully we get the full game in. She's definitely someone who prefers to bowl to right-handers. I think that's fair to say. Wouldn't mind seeing her bowling around the wicket. They're still warm enough on the wall over there, it looks like.
You can see the Stokel family there in the background, along with the Pauls.
Again, 2 straight. I just wonder, could Louise Little get a bit tighter to the stumps and make it easier for her to get across? The left-hander she'll be happy in a way because she's got her off strike and she'll be able to bowl at the right-handed Modesta Mupachikwa.
Would you have come over or around and changed it up to left-handers?
No, because I was a left armer, but I think if I was right arm,
you would.
Probably would have, yeah. Looks a lot more comfortable chance out in the deep. Ava Canning shells it. Oh dear. One of the easier chances for Ireland today. And Amy Hunter doesn't gather for the run out either.
So to the right hander now. Little's bowled good length there. Chico's gone across the ball a little bit too much and it stayed up in the air for a long time. But Canning seemed to keep her eyes off the ball there. Tried to take it quite low.
Yeah, that was, I think that was where the fault lay, was the hands too low. We actually saw a perfect example of what you want is your hand, at least one of your hands tracking it, when we saw Rebecca Stokel taking one over her head earlier. And Louise Little seems to be one of the most unlucky bowlers because when catches go down, it's quite often her bowling. That drop chance brought up the 100 for Zimbabwe. That'll be something that'll please them. They've got their inside 15 overs. That's much quicker than the previous 2 games. Advances to Mupachikwa, but can't get past or to Prendergast. And she just didn't seem to track it. It is difficult to cover, isn't it? It's an awkward one to practice.
It's a tough one, and I saw there Canning prefers to catch the ball with her hands pointing down, whereas Stokel always tries to get her position where her hands are pointing up when the ball's in the air for a long time. No, it's personal preference, but there might be something in that.
It's definitely something that when we're coaching, we try and get people to point their fingers up, don't we? It just feels like the percentages. I wonder, is there a stat out there about the number of catches taken when fingers pointed up compared to down? It'd be pretty difficult to gather that information, I'd imagine, but
we need a statistician somewhere that counts that.
Yeah.
But you do tend to get the hands higher when they're right in front of your eyes and you're pointing upwards towards the sky with your hands.
Good comeback though from Little, considering the drop chance. And I suppose as well with the sky we have here, it's completely white because we've got complete cloud cover at the moment here in Pembroke, which does make it more difficult to judge the distance of the ball from you as a catcher, doesn't it?
It does. That was an adjustment coming from the southern hemisphere, that there was a little bit more of a white sky here.
Similar to having an all blue sky though. That advances, that isn't far away. Lulu Little frustrated. She should have had a wicket in the over. She knows that. Could have had one there as well, just bouncing over the wicket. But quite a well constructed over, considering 15 overs gone. Zimbabwe 102 for 4. And there she is. She's going to have to go out and field on the boundary. You've all dropped them. That's what she has to remember. Try not to be too frustrated. But she would have loved, especially coming into the team today, she would have loved to get a wicket there. Well, thank you, Jara Siggins. We were asking Mary Waldron if she'd batted in every position for Ireland. What's the answer, do you think?
I think it's a yes.
You're correct, and a few times in each as well. There's the bowlers so far today. Prendergast still has 2. She's been economical as usual. Canning as well. She's got 1 and she's taken 1 wicket. McMahon back into the attack though. She switches ends. 1 for 13 from her 2. Pacheco just trying to get some power into the ball. Well, for Mary Waldron, is your test question of the day. What position that she batted in did she bat in the most for Ireland?
That's going to be really tough because there were different eras of Waldron.
I'm sure she'll be interested to know this as well. Another opportunity. This time it's Prendergast underneath and she takes the catch. Fingers pointed down but successful. Sophie McMahon gets the wicket that Lulu Little feels she should have got last over, but for the team the result's pretty much the same. Mupachikwa looking to see, can she give her team a chance to get a win under their belts. She can't prove any more how well she can play in the middle order. She goes for 17 from 19, 2 boundaries in it. Zimbabwe 102 for 5.
And Sophie McMahon delighted to take the wicket of Mupachikwa, who's ended up slicing that completely. Didn't quite get to the pitch of it, and Orla Prendergast is about as safe as they come. Don't want to jinx her, but it's not often that she'd drop that catch. So back to Mary Waldron. This is really hard because different eras of her career she batted at different places. I'm going to stick to her being a keeper and that making a middle order. I'm going to say 6 or 7.
Neither of those.
Neither of those, okay. You would have stolen 5-6 for most of her career anyway.
Yeah, so go the other side.
Other side. Let's go. I'm going to go other positive side. I'm going to go 5.
8.
8.
Yeah, 8. She batted 36 times at number 8 for Ireland. Nyasha Gwanzura, back to the cricket on show. She's in the middle. Hasn't had too happy a time of it with bat in hand 4 and 0 in the series so far, but she has time to put that right. Thick edge. Third is out there, so gets off the mark with a streaky single. So if you're the Zimbabwe coach now, Celeste, and you're sending Gwanzura out, what's the message? Is it still chase 180, or are you thinking, right, let's just try and go at 10 and over, see can we do that against a pretty good quality bowling attack here?
I think that's probably the way to go. As much as you always want to think that you're in the game, it'd be really positive for the Zimbabwe coach to see them still score at a good rate, but not unnecessarily throw wickets away and take risks. Although that will help their cause.
A little tickle just to leg side from Sophamat Man, the left-hander, as they so often do, getting the loose delivery down the leg side. Didn't need to put much on it. There was a fielder in fine leg, but too wide to stop that one.
And you're right, the left-hander is always fortunate to get a few more balls on their legs than what their right-handed counterparts do. Just put that away very nicely. Yeah, I'd say when the top order haven't been able to score 2.5 runs a ball themselves, 3 runs a ball, it's a lot to ask the lower order to come, or the middle order to come in and swing from ball 1. So showing that they can score quickly, they can pick a kind of total to try and get each over and really positively come out and try and play to their strengths without being silly and throwing their wicket away. Be a good way to approach this.
Good fielding from Gabby Lewis. She's been quiet by her standards today. Hasn't had an opportunity to bat, but McMahon gets a wicket on her return to the attack. 6 runs in that over as well. 16 gone. Zimbabwe 108 for 5.
And Biza impressed with 25 off her 24. The young 16-year-old has looked positive throughout this series so far. Sipwe Tirapanu once again has been the anchor of the innings, scoring at a run a ball. And Daru at the start made a real go at the large total that Ireland had set, but was dismissed for 12. Extras have been 15 today, which is a little higher than what they've been in previous days.
Lulu Little gets the third over. Better against the left-hander. Much better line from Little. She's been generally too straight to the left-hander, but just manages to push that one across the Zimbabwe captain. I'm interested to hear from her after the game about how she feels today's match went. Once again, I think she'll be disappointed with catches that went down. It didn't last too long. Another wide to add to the total. That will be something no doubt Lloyd Tennant will be marking down in his diary as he thinks about things to work on. Probably not for the one-day international for Saturdays. It's a quick turnaround for the players. I think after today everyone's packing up and moving north to Stormont. We'll be there on Saturday from 10:30 on air. Clubbed but dealt with so well by Rebecca Stokel. Those ones can be really tricky, can't they? Because it just skids on, but stayed in a really good position.
Rebecca Stokel has really made mid-on, mid-off her own in the last few years. She's got quite good height, which is an advantage, but she moves very well. She anticipates, and as we saw, she took that great catch earlier. You can see Gabby Lewis has also put herself mid-on there.
That's too short, and there's nobody out there. Zimbabwe supporters rise to their feet to support their captain. Really powerful into the leg side. That's too short and too straight from Louise Little.
We're seeing great intent here from the Zimbabwe captain. She's got the ball she wanted there with no one out at mid-wicket, but even the ball before she came down, hit the ball with a lot of power, a lot of conviction. You can see she's not happy to just accept defeat here. She's going to give this as much of a win as she possibly can.
straighter and fuller that time. Good fielding from Louise Little. I always find myself in these kinds of spells. It's the third over in a row for Louise Little, thinking maybe she's a bit tired, and forgetting that our bell ringers from earlier would have bowled 11 overs on the trot when it was their day.
Exactly. But it is a different game in a way now, isn't it? Like bowlers aren't conditioned to bowl 11 on the trot, which means that we probably do expect a little bit more from them when they do give us their 4. We want them to approach the crease hard.
Amy Hunter opting to stand up now. This will be Tirapano running down the pitch at Louise Little. This will just mean she can trust her length a little bit more. Slashed away, and Steph McMahon, every time you look up to see her fielding, she's already on the move. Her anticipation's been second to none today. Really quick to the ball, and a lot of that is really reading where the ball's going to go as the batter's hitting it.
It has been so pleasing after noting that she wouldn't have been someone that was always fielding on the boundary for Ireland. It's great to see that she has added that string to her bow and looked very fast out there today.
Gwanzora. Full straight and heave leg side. A lovely languid swing of the bat as Gwanzora gets her first boundary of the day. Expensive over from Lulu Little. 2 boundaries in it and 2 singles. Zimbabwe showing they can go at 10 and over. 118 for 5.
And not the way Louise Little would have wanted to finish her over. Little full and straight, but not a huge amount wrong there. Really well played there by Gwanzura.
Yeah, maybe just a case of the wrong field for the delivery that she executed, but good shot. Hitting it to the vacant space. Sophie McMahon will finish out her allotment of overs now. 3 overs to go. Gabby Lewis has plenty of options. A little bit of touch from Tirapano. Quick pick up and release from Louise Little. A couple of changes to the squads going from this series to the next. Sarah Forbes, I think it is the real change for Rebecca Stokel. Are you surprised to see that change, or see Sarah Forbes as more of a 50-over player?
Yeah, I think that's definitely how she's thought of. I'd say Rebecca Stokel would be disappointed not to get a go in the longer format as well. But good opportunity for Sarah Forbes to show what she can do. And she has done well for Ireland when given that opening batter spot over the last couple of years since she debuted. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see the change and how that affects the batting order and what Ireland do with their lineup.
Good stuff from Sophie McMahon, just finding a pretty hard length there as she looks to close out. She'd love another wicket. Just about gets over Karen Murray's head, but Stokel also anticipating well, makes it look easy to cut that off, but she was on the move very early on there.
It's hard for a player like Rebecca Stokel if you do get pigeonholed as a T20 player, to try and prove yourself in the other format if there's not a huge amount of one-day cricket going on.
Yeah, it's a big problem, isn't it? Because we have domestic cricket in the one-day format, but no club cricket. Nice slower delivery there from Sophie McMahon. Big heave-ho from Mugeri. And Judy Cohen getting in touch just to confirm the number of caps. So I don't know if you heard us talking about the caps on Cricinfo. You can't trust it because they don't count. Caps not. Oh, how has that missed? They only count official one-day internationals and T20s. McMahon finishes her spell of 4 overs, 2 for 21. A good return for her to the T20 international team. Mary Waldron, 184 caps.
Okay, so 40 more than what I'd been misinformed.
Yeah, which is usual. So
yeah,
we'll just take a look at the bowling figures here. Louise Little bowled 3 overs. I don't think we'll see her final over. She went for 23, so a little bit expensive. Delaney was more expensive, though. She's going to get her last over, the penultimate. It'll be interesting to see who it is that gets the final one. Will it be Murray, Canning, Prendergast, Paul, or Little? Lots of options for Gabby Lewis, but Delaney will bowl her third. Yeah, 91 catches and 51 stumpings. And we got the batting positions from Ger Siggins, so thanks for all the help out there, everybody. So Laura Delaney hoping to get amongst the wickets. Full straight and good execution from her, but Gwanzora just managing to squeeze it out. Good field set for that type of delivery. It's probably the field that Louise Little probably should have had for her final delivery of her third over. Slightly different for Tirapano. No, in fact, she's going to send mid-wicket out. So square, fine, mid-wicket, and cover the 4 out for the Zimbabwe captain. Cut away and Sophie McMahon has to do a bit of work in the deep, but fumble will mean they come back for 2.
I noticed here that they've got mid on, mid off up, but they've got Prendergast and Lewis as those 2 fielders.
Yeah, she hasn't got any of that. Tirapano, a rare short one that she doesn't latch on to.
Straight to Prendergast there, who would be known as one of Ireland's best fielders, and interesting that she is in mid-off, which is, if Ireland were to be allowed to have a 5th fielder out like in the men's game, that would be the option they'd most likely choose. So Prendergast there, an important role in the inner circle.
Good to see the Zimbabwe batters still fighting at this stage of the innings. A little roll of the fingers over the ball there from Laura Delaney. She does have a few different change-ups. That one doesn't take the pace off that much, but it's almost like a little leg spinner. Moves away from the right hand, and that's what's brought about the edge.
And she's easy to set a field to, Laura Delaney. She bowls in very consistent areas, and she's a bit off pace, so it's hard to generate the pace and hit away from the fielders that are out on the boundary.
You won't see her ramped too much. Good movement from Coulter Riley, nicely collected by Amy Hunter, and Delaney just goes for 1, 2 and 4 singles in that over. So the penultimate goes for just 6. Zimbabwe with 1 over to go need 54 more. How close can they get? I wonder what the chat is between those two. Tirapano quite animated. A little laughter from Gwanzora as well. Good to see them happy. It is the highest total that they've got to in the series so far, so that's something to be happy about. And Tirapano will be keen to best her previous best score against Ireland in this series, which was 42. Ava Canning to bowl the last. So it's with a wide down leg. That's a real area of concern for Ireland, is just quite how many extras there's been.
And the majority of them have been to the left-hander, often just a little too straight. And it's easy to see that that could be a consequence of seldom bowling to left-handers here in Ireland. It's well bowled there by Canning. It's a really good line. It's Tirapanu giving a no width there.
Yeah, good to see Ava Canning bowling the last over as well. I think this is another indication of Ireland trying to learn things about their players, because typically Ava Canning doesn't come back that well at the back end of any one-day international or T20 innings, because she typically lacks those change-ups that you'd usually look for, or extra bit of pace. Chance and gone. She won't best her previous score. Spiwe Tirapanu just got cramped up for room, looking to find the gap. It scoots off the face of the bat and finds Orla Prendergast. She was placed absolutely perfectly. Ava Canning gets her second wicket, coming back and making a difference, dismissing Zimbabwe's captain for a well-made 39 from 42. 3 fours in that one. Strike rate a slight concern for her at just 92, but she'll be generally, I think, pleased with her team's batting performances. She leaves the crease at 127 for 6.
And that same good line here from Ava Canning, where she hasn't given her any width there, and it's tough to score anything more than a single off that ball. So Tirapanu has picked out the fielder.
2 catches for Orla Prendergast, I think. Both have been pretty regulation, but she'll be glad to get them under the belt. Nomvelo Sibanda, well, it's number 9 on the back, but I think she's taken someone else's jersey, has she? No, it's 19. Apologies, Francisca Chapare. That one was just eluding me there for a while. Right-hander, that'll please Ireland, because they've been toiling against left-hand, right-hand combinations throughout the innings. In the air, but into the gap. So one thing that Ireland did better yesterday, they took all 10 wickets, didn't they? So Zimbabwe have that to think about as well. They've managed to pretty much bat out the innings, but they've also put on more runs.
And they'll be pleased with that.
Full and straight, good execution. Chance has to hit. No, well, she doesn't have to hit. Brilliant stuff from Ava Canning. Gets back to the stumps. Very unusual for her fast bowler to get back and take the catch and take the stumps. Brilliant teamwork from Ireland. Francisca Chapare, she was only out there for a short time because Rebecca Stokel is really on song in the field. A great run out. She goes for just 1, and Zimbabwe losing wickets late.
And as you mentioned, brilliant work from Ava Canning. Bowlers aren't supposed to be able to do that. Far too athletic for a fast bowler. That was very, very well done by both Stokel and by Canning.
Good celebration as well.
Stokel liked that one.
Why wouldn't you? 128 for 7. So Ireland just piling the pressure on, and Zimbabwe in search of late runs. So new batter will be hoping to get an opportunity, would have been hoping to get an opportunity to bat Michelle Mavunga, but she's at the non-striker's end. They're going to take on the fielder again. Laura Delaney hits, but the pick-up and release not quite quick enough. That one, she had to move to her left. She won't get the opportunity because that was the last delivery of the game. Zimbabwe finishing on a pretty respectable 129 for 7. They said at the beginning of the series they thought 140 was a good score, so they got closer today than in any of the other games. But Ireland's batting was once more impressive, so they've won this one by 51 runs. And a different looking team, a different looking batting lineup, but the same result for Ireland as they close this series out 3-0. And Gabby Lewis, so she didn't even have to bat today, but she'll be happy with her team. We'll be hearing from her later, no doubt. We'll be hearing from someone else from the Ireland camp. That's good news for Lloyd Tennant, someone else putting their hand up. A few other people with the bat in hand and different bowlers as well.
Yeah, great performance there from Ireland. With the change in personnel, they managed to be able to procure the same result, and we got to see a lot of cricket from a lot of the players that hadn't featured so far in the series. So very encouraging for them, as well as seeing Ava Canning start with the ball today. Sophie McMahon bowling well. Leopold getting a few overs this series, which was a real positive for Ireland, and a chance for Christina Coulter-Riley and for Louise Little to come in today as well and perform. So 3-0 and a fairly comprehensive series win for Ireland there, but certainly some positives to be taken from Zimbabwe's performances, most notably their captain, as well as beloved Beeza's bowling and intent with the bat, and Nklovu's batting and bowling as well.
Yeah, pleasing for Ireland. They've got a one-day international series coming up. That's a two-match series starting on Saturday. The last game of the series on Monday. They've got Pakistan coming soon as well. And later in the summer, it's the Europe qualifiers.
So Rebecca Stokel started off extremely well today with her elevation up the order. 41 off 27, and was unfortunately run out before the chance of getting her maiden 50. Amy Hunter also looked promising with 59 off 40 as the top scorer for Ireland today. Louise Little took a little while to get going, but showed us some of what she's capable of. 25 off 27, getting a chance at number 3 today. Laura Delaney batted well at the end, 19 off 15, as did Orla Prendergast with her big hitting 24 off 9. Only 10 extras there from Zimbabwe's bowlers. Biggest partnership of the day was the first wicket partnership, and that was Rebecca Stokel and Amy Hunter of 96. Other partnerships started to get going but didn't progress as far. Louise Little and Laura Delaney 29, as was Delaney and Prendergast at the end. Zimbabwe's bowlers, a few of them had a bit to celebrate. Beloved Beezer being the most notable of all. She took 2 for 21 off her 4 with a very impressive economy rate of 5.25. Sabanda coming into the side took 1 for 24 off 3 and was unfortunate not to get a 4th over with how well she bowled today. Makusha bowling well again. However, 3 of the bowlers were expensive and went for more than 10 and over, especially Chapare, who went for 17 off her 1. And in reply, Zimbabwe managed to score 129 runs. Most top scorer was Tirapano with 39 off 42. Beezer also contributed very well with 25 off 24. Other than that, Mupachikwa moved down the order to number 6, was able to score 17, but it wasn't enough in the end to reach the total. Not many high partnerships here for Zimbabwe, and that was most likely their undoing, really. Every time partnership got going, they lost wickets. Beezer and Tirapano together scored 35, as was Tirapano and Mupachikwa, 25 for Tirapano and Gwanzura, but nothing else. And for Ireland's bowlers today, Prendergast was only required for 2 overs. She took none for 11 off her 2. McMahon, 2 for 21 off 4, was able to take 2 wickets on her elevation into the team. Cara Murray, 1 for 16 today, and the rest of the bowlers were without wickets. So that's the match today. Ireland scored 179 off their 20 for 4 wickets. Amy Hunter, Rebecca Stokel being the leading wicket takers. In reply, Zimbabwe only managed 129 for 7 off their 20. Tirapano with 39 off 42. Beezer 25 off 24. Ireland win by 50 runs today, and Ireland win by 50 runs today. Comprehensive win for them as they take the series 3-0. It was a very impressive series win by Ireland. Gabby Lewis being player of the match, two games out of 3. And I will leave you with Isabel Joyce, who will conduct the post-match presentation.
So welcome to the post-match presentation. Welcome to the post-match presentation. Ireland winning the series 3-0 courtesy of a 51-run victory today. We're starting off with the player of the match today. I have alongside me Donna Armstrong, who is Cricket Ireland president. A few honourable mentions for Zimbabwe. Beloved Biza impressed, 2 for 21 and 25 runs for her. Rebecca Stokel 41 from 27 deliveries, but for her 59 from 40 deliveries, Amy Hunter is the player of the match. Thank you, Donna. We'll be seeing you very shortly if you grab that. Thank you so much, Paul. And notably, Amy, your first cricket coach giving you that award. How does that feel?
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I think Donna coached me probably since I was primary school, so yeah, no, that's pretty cool.
You didn't have it all your own way this series, so how important for you was it to come in and perform well today?
Yeah, I think I was pretty desperate to get runs out there today. I think obviously kind of not scoring the first 2 games always puts the pressure on a little bit more, but I think I was just super glad to kind of get runs on the board. Probably felt a lot of relief as well.
For anyone at home who maybe has gone through, I mean, it was only a couple of games, so we won't oversell this, but a couple of below par for you performances in the first 2 games. Your mindset last night when you're thinking of coming into this series, and as you said, desperate to score some runs, how do you go about thinking through that and getting yourself ready?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of things. I think also kind of having previous experiences, I think it's also not putting pressure on myself. Still trying to go out there, take the game on and kind of just enjoy it. I think because I play my best cricket when I'm kind of taking the game on. So I think it's also a combination of that, but then also just having super clear plans and sticking to those.
Finally, just quite a lot of changes for the team today. You had a different opening partner, but it was the same kind of result, the way the team went about things. Particularly pleasing for you guys to have different people making the runs?
Yeah, definitely. I think Lloyd before spoke about how maybe there's different people, personnel kind of in different roles, but I think kind of taking the game on the same way, I think it'll definitely stand to us in the long term.
Okay, well batted today. Thanks so much for joining me. That's Amy Hunter, our player of the match. Next, we're going to hear from Zimbabwe's captain, who's going to come and join me, Chipo. Welcome back. Great to have you back. Well batted today. Not the result you wanted, but were there parts of that performance that you feel you improved on from yesterday?
Oh, firstly, I think I need to give credit to the Irish women. Yeah, they've played incredible cricket. We enjoyed every part of the game they were playing here. And going to what we have been doing, I think we are just letting ourselves down, especially when we're starting. Yeah. The drop catches. Yeah, it's like we're not learning from our mistakes. Yeah.
Very hard to change that overnight, I guess.
Yeah.
You can't really put catching practice in 21 hours. But in terms of your batting, we in the commentary position certainly felt there was a much better intent with the bat in hand. Was that something that you spoke about overnight?
Yeah, we did talk about being positive, especially when you're on or at the crease. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was good to see girls trying to put the intent. Yeah.
Yeah, and I suppose finally for you, you've got a couple of days now to prepare yourselves for 2 one-day internationals, the longer format up in Stormont, a bit of travel to go. So what will you be doing in the intervening time? Will there be much training? Will there be chats? How will you go about that?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a new environment again in Northern Ireland. So I think we have to go and have a practice and see what. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you up north. Best of luck in that series. That's Zimbabwe's captain, Chipo Mugeri Tirapano. I will invite Donna Armstrong back in, Cricket Ireland president, because we have our player of the series. So we have a couple of people to mention that have performed well across the series. Kellison Clovu for Zimbabwe. She made 124 runs and took a couple of wickets as well. Karen Murray from Ireland took 7 wickets across the series, but no surprise with 2 half centuries, 154 runs. She didn't even bat today, but our player of the series is Gabby Lewis.
Well done, Gabby.
Thank you. Well done, and just thank you, Paul, our assistant there. Gabby, congratulations, 3-0 victory. Very pleasing for you, I suppose, to get the clean sweep, but even more pleasing for you sitting on the sideline watching your teammates go about their business with bat in hand.
Yeah, I think with the 3 girls coming in, I think it's really nice to just sit on the sideline and know that you've trust in them, that they're going to go out and take it on. And I think when they get given that opportunity, they really took it today. So it was great to watch from the sideline, although it felt a bit weird. I can't remember the last time they didn't open the batting for Ireland. So but look, it was we all had our confidence in the girls, and I think it just shows the depth that we have in our squad, and that everyone feels confident to go out there and really trust in the way that we're trying to play.
Well, my next question was going to be, did you get to a point where you were thinking, I kind of really like to get out there? What number were you going to be?
I was going to be 8, but look, I think it was, me and Leah were humming and hawing who to go in, and I was like, no, I'm joking. Lloyd was like, Leah, you go in. She can probably hit better sixes than me. So, but no, look, whoever, we went in, it was, to really take the game on and go to 100 strike rate. And I think everyone went in and did that and looked to play with that intent, and it came off today.
Players coming in, as you mentioned, and giving you a bit of a headache, I suppose. I know there are a couple of changes to the squad for Saturday, but trying to choose your best 11 going forward as well into the Pakistan series is going to prove difficult.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's the longest selections we've had, and I think I mentioned it the other day. Everyone that comes in and is really pushing for spots, and I think it's great to see, and it's only going to get better, which is great, especially with the development of the under-19s, having that World Cup and just continuing to push players at the young age and fighting for spots at the senior level, and that's all we want.
A word about Zimbabwe. They've really improved across the 3 games, and we didn't really know what to expect with them coming over. A lot of new faces, a lot of new names, but they've really competed at different parts of the series.
Yeah, and I think if you look at the age of their groups, they've got some really good youngsters, and I think it just shows the future of the game. And it's great that they're joining us in the championship, because I think if you look at the team that we were before the 4-year cycle of the first championship to the team that we are now, it's chalk and cheese, and I think it's really exciting for them and the future of the game. And the more teams that we can include in that championship and get the opportunity to play against those top nations, the better it's going to be.
Yeah, well, they're really looking forward to that one-day series on Saturday. I'm going to ask Paul to come back, our assistant over here, take the microphone, and Donna Armstrong, welcome in, because it's the trophy. Congratulations, Ireland winning the series between Ireland and Zimbabwe 3-0. Thanks, guys, and good luck in that series. That's all we have time for here in Pembroke Cricket Club, but we move north to Stormont on Saturday for the one-day internationals. There's 2 matches, Saturday and Monday. From me, Isabel Joyce, from Celeste Rack, from our guests as well, everyone at MWX and at Cricket Ireland, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you'll join us again on Saturday. We'll be on air at just about 10:30 time, but for now, it's good evening and good night.